Welcome to the Nomad Network, your first stop for complete and comprehensive Chicago Bears football coverage. Dive deep into analyses, updates, and all things Bears. Subscribe to our YouTube channel today and never miss a beat. Thank you in advance for your support. We promise to bring you the best because together we're unstoppable. Go Bears!
Yo, no maniacs. Welcome to this Sunday night edition of Nomad at Night. And I think this is going to be a fun conversation because me and Kez almost had a podcast behind the scenes waiting on Trip. I don't know. This is not normal for Trip. Hopefully Trip will show up. We gave him some time. But it's usually Kez we always waiting on. But this time it's the food maestro. And so, yeah, man, that's wild.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm on just permanent Caribbean time. I guess he's rocking colored people time today, so I guess it is what it is. But I'm sure Trip will show up there sooner or later, and we love our boy. We gave him a couple minutes, but either way, as we were just chopping it up behind the scenes, we're getting deep into it, so we figured just F it, let's just start this show and have some of this conversation. Well, y'all, and here we are.
And the green room is where all the magic happens. Like
a lot of the time, man.
It's like MTV Cribs, man. That's where all the magic happens, in the green room before a show.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Juju for being the number one homie. Getting it. Let's get it, Juju. What it do, man? Good to have you, brother.
But yeah, man, let's let me give a little preview of what we're going to be talking about today. Of course, we're going to get into the Bears and make it all Bears today. We're going to get a little human real quick before we get into that. But, it's a particular part of the show that I wanted to highlight. Shout out to Clocker Sports. I caught an interview earlier this morning. They were interviewing Jade Walker. Clocker Sports. So check those guys out on YouTube. Yeah.
I'd love to see.
They had a pretty decent interview. And one of the questions they hit him with is, it's something that I've been talking about for some time over here, explaining why, you can't just put a rookie on the field as talented as he is and just expect him to just get it. It's about bandwidth for real, but we're going to talk about that. If you want to check out a good interview about why sometimes it takes some of these younger guys to get on the field, sometimes it takes a minute, you'll understand after listening to Jade Walker talk about it. Because when I told y'all that the West Coast offense, the verbiage in that offense is a load, I'm going to explain to you guys why. And I'm going to tell you guys why, it varies from individual to individual, how they, put this into their computer. I'm going to tell you how I put it in my computer as I was trying to translate it to people to help them. And I'm going to tell you how other people see it. But it's going to be an interesting part of the show. So hang in there for that conversation. I promise you're going to want to see that. But outside of that, kids, man, how's it been, man? What's going on in Canada? How's your week been?
Man, it's definitely we slid right into the fall. What it do, Jay Grizz, man? Good to have you, my bro.
Fall yet? It's fall already there?
Brother, we slid right into fall. It's been raining and the weather's weird right now. Like it's kind of hot, but it's also just gloomy and rainy. So it's definitely sliding right into fall. Ain't no breaks here. I'm really hoping that there is a break. I hope in the next couple of weeks is warm, summery type stuff again. But this week's been a little bit glum and not a whole lot of good out there in the as far as weather is concerned, anyways. But just doing the darn thing, getting a little some workouts in here and there, trying to eat good and and make some paper, man. That's what it looks like, really.
Yeah, Jay Grizz, what up, man? That trip might be then ate
Oh,
too many of them damn pancakes or something, man, and
yeah, it might have came back on him a little bit.
ordered too many pancakes from the chef.
Hey, Dante and Shad, Scrolls, good to see you, man.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I don't even realize we got summers, but I appreciate them when they're here, Scrolls, man. I appreciate them. They're all I live for. It's all I got left. I got like two months out the year where I could be happy, and the rest I'm a surly asshole. So, I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with both sides at this point. So, you know what it is, man. But damn, I just wish it was a little bit longer. Like last year, it slid right up until October, man. It was real good, real nice here. But right now it's a little bit, I'm saying it, a little bit like real fall right now, man. And I'm not really trying to have it,
man. Dude, let me tell you, shout out to Dante with
the alert.
Hold on. Let me give him this love. We got to do that. Make sure we give him this love. Hold on,
man.
Hold on. Thank you so much, Dante, with the 440 joules. He says, Unc alert.
Oh, speaking of Unc alert.
Speaking of Unc, he just up in this month. All right, we'll wait. Thank you, Dante, man. You know we love you, bro. And we love everything y'all bring to the table. Hey, we love you, bro. Let me see. When you want to, Trish, we got you.
He still don't know what these damn jewels is about. I'm kind of with you, but hey, as long as it hits the coifers,
you can just Google if you want to, but it's that's up to you. I know what it is.
No, dude, that's all that matters. As long as it hits the coifers, man. That's what they call it in Game of Thrones and shit. House of the Dragon. But yeah,
bro, I got a little story time, man, from when I was in Missouri, man. It's
what went down? Hey, Ron.
I'm just gonna say I made some fans while I was there.
Okay.
So I like to say, just Google it, Dante. Just Google. Just put in there what is 440 joules mean in a YouTube podcast, and it'll tell you.
Yeah,
I did it the last time you did it. I can't remember what it was, but I did it. Trips, whenever you're ready, you want me to put you in? Is he froze?
Oh no, give him a minute. I think he's on his phone tonight, man. He's getting set up. So
what up, Ron? Ron up in this piece. Scrolls just busted up in here. Of course, Jay Grizz, Shad on sports. Let me see.
Ron, you're welcome, and we would love to hear it, man. Might be a little bit of typing though, but you do it. I'll see what I can do to paraphrase.
I'll just say this: the Ozarks is a very interesting place.
It's also a fantastic series. I'd much rather the series than the actual live experience, though. I'll just put that out there, especially after watching the series. Damn,
the series actually represented it.
That's terrible. Don't do this.
I'm talking about from a scenic standpoint. Let's start there.
Okay, like lots of trees. You're saying it's like
trees, mountains, plenty of. You get out there on the water. It's beautiful. I mean, there's a lot of activity going on, and we just pulled the film off the surface, man. I ain't stayed there long enough to really give you some deep down stuff, but I'm just gonna tell you, man. It's some wildlife going on down there, and it ain't all on four legs. I'm just gonna tell you.
Oh snap!
I tell you, bro.
I believe it, man.
It is some straight wildlife going on down there, man.
I believe it, man. Like I say, great series, man. Like I say, if you're trying to say like it was a good representation, I'm afraid. That's all I gotta say, because they did a real good job of, because like for those of you who haven't seen it, just to give you a quick premise, it's about a family from Chicago that moves to the Ozarks. And that's where I'll leave the premise, because I don't want to ruin anything for you guys, and how they come in and how they, warm themselves up to the locals ain't good. It's not, it's not a good situation for them at
Kid,
all.
you know what's funny about that? Everybody that was on that job is from Chicago.
For real?
Everybody. Not a single person that wasn't.
So, like, how far is it from where you're at, really?
What? Ozarks?
Yeah.
Probably about 6 hours.
I'm sorry. This fucking squirrel just
Yeah. There's some of that shit going on down there. Hey, shout out to Paulie. Hey, Paulie made that video for us. I've been holding on to it, hugging it, waiting for the right time. And I think I'm trying to hold on to it till those guys get out there for the preseason where we're going to see a whole lot of rookie play. Okay. I'm just trying to hold on to it that long, but I might not be able to, Paul. We love you for doing that for us, though, bro. For real.
Wow, that's wild, Scrolls, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of that kind of shit going on.
6 hours, okay. You know what I mean? It's far enough, but the way they represent it is, it's like it's far enough away from Chicago, but it's kind of still like real Midwest in between. Is it close to Ohio too?
Is that right? It's closer to Tennessee.
Close to Tennessee. Oh, Arkansas was also big. So it was Arkansas. There were some Ohio gangsters in there. There was obviously Chicago gangsters too. It's a like, man, I'm saying I ain't never been, but check the series out, y'all, for real. Like, it's
one of the best series I've ever seen.
It's a badass series. I don't know. I can't even say it was one of the best, but it's great. It's great from beginning to end. It ends right. It begins right. And Jason Bateman really holds it down, bro. Like, he really does. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like other roles where he holds it down like that. Jason Bateman in this particular show, he holds it down, man. He plays
remember that part when they start introducing you to the little blonde girl who's the star of the show, end up being the star of the show.
Mm-hmm. She steals the show. She does.
Her trailer and all those characters around the trailer and shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cat with the mullet and all that kind of shit. That's real, bro.
That's what I'm staying away. You know what? Like the one character I wanted to stay away from was the old lady, man. The old lady, bro.
She's real too.
I know she's real about that. That's why I was kind of trying to stay away from it, because she, out of anybody, she probably actually represents the people of the Ozarks in the realest way, man. And I'd be wild to say if they didn't. You know what I mean? Like, it would be crazy. What's Paulie saying here, man?
Paulie, don't worry about it, Paulie. Stick around. I'm starring your comments here. These couple comments. That's conversation.
Yeah.
Bring
those both back. Yeah, for sure, man. Because that's a real conversation we gotta have. Love that, Paul.
So this is the interesting part. So let's just say somebody, I'm just gonna say somebody that I met, and I met all kinds of people in that in that nursing home, man. All kinds of people, guys, girls, everything. Younger, older. I met them all from every age group, man. And it was something, because as soon as you tell them you from the Chicago area, that's a whole thing to them. And they're just as interested by the simple fact of you telling you from around Chicago. They interested in that conversation, as am I interested in their conversations about where they're from, where you grow up. And a lot of them grew up in the sticks. And some of the stuff. And she told me, this one girl told me to take this road, and she said, I don't want you to go too far. I'm gonna tell you where to go and where to stop so that you don't go too far. I was like, why don't you want me to go too far? She said, because trust me, it's too far for you. Don't go no further than this.
Might not come back.
She said, you drive up here right before it starts getting dark. Like, the sun's going down, and it's getting that pretty scenery over the trees, right around then. Go up there, and that's probably about 6:30 around that then. Go up to this point, and you're gonna start hearing some crazy shit up in the mountains, up in them hills. When I say crazy shit, I ain't talking about just animal noises. You can hear people hooting and hollering, people firing guns in the air. Just, it's like something happens when the sun goes down in the mountains of the Ozarks. I don't know what it is. I couldn't really get it out of her, but that's some wild. It was wild. And it alarmed me enough that I was just like, all right, that's enough. Let's go. Let's go. Right now. Let's go.
Yeah, we're doubling back.
Dog, it was and this, the passes I got at me. Just to say, some of those females, I'm just saying, you can tell they just, I'm gonna tell you, meth is strong there. And those people like to have a good time, meth and natural ice. I'm just gonna tell you that.
Bro, that's the theme of that show. But wow, crazy. I'm not surprised at all. I mean, like in situations like that, and I mean, there ain't nothing else to do, bro. You know what I mean? Like you're in the woods, you're in the sticks for real, for real. What else you gonna do?
You have to, like, where I was at was a little town, but it wasn't necessarily the sticks. You got to drive probably about another 10, 15 miles up the road to get to where I was talking about. And it was worth it, man, just to see how absolutely and I got a hint from one of them that really didn't want to do too much talking, because apparently, too much talking will get you in trouble down there. So I'll just say Dixie Mafia is real down there. Number one.
Okay.
Number two, the moonshine is real in them hills. That's what I took from, the little breadcrumbs that the girl was giving me. Like those people, as soon as it starts getting dark, they know they have the advantage, is what I took it to be. And they can go ahead and pretty much until the sun comes up from 6 to about 6 in the morning. They can make all the shine they want. Man. Who's trying to come up in there? Them wild hillbillies up in that thing, they do have the advantage, man. What police want to go up in there?
Ain't no police going up in there, man.
No, man. Nomad didn't even see your bedtime story.
Don't worry, Ron. I got you, Ron. I got you. We are definitely. You know what? We're gonna do, courtesy of Ron. Courtesy of Ron Winarski.
Wait, hold on, because Paul want to get on. You want to come on tonight? Yeah, you can come on. Let me see. Let me make sure I can.
All right, try and hook Paulie up right now. In the meantime, we'll do story time with Ron. Once upon a time, there was a guy called Jordan Love. He thought he was a great QB until he got his ass kicked by the Bears and kicked out of the playoffs. The end.
Let me make sure I can.
This is a great story, Ron, and I fully support it. I think we should start a GoFundMe to have this story turned into a short film, or at least a YouTube short.
Paul, you should get it. Hold on, I was just getting. You should be getting it, man. Anytime you're ready, you can come on. What'd you say, man? I didn't even hear all that. I was trying to get.
Damn, I'm not doing the story again. What the hell? I just ran it. Ron, you might be right. Maybe Nomad didn't like your story, but I certainly liked it. It was very anti-Packer, if you will, and I'm about as anti-Packer as they come. So away we go.
Trip is struggling with, like, he's struggling about with his stuff, I guess.
Yeah, he's doing tech support, I'm sure, right now. So we'll let him sort his situation out.
Just Trip, just go out and come back in, see what happens. He just froze again.
Yeah, he freezing. Okay. All right, as we wait for Triple R, same token, Paulie, man, good to have. It'd be awesome to have you if you can jump on. By all means, man, come on through and we'll get you going. Good conversations to be had across the board. I'm paying a fair amount of attention to the noise out there, and the noise is interesting. Oh, will you look at this?
Okay, we'll get you up in here in 1 second, Paul. Let's try to get Triple R straightened out real quick before we get you in here. He's I think he's still going through some things. Yeah, he's freezing up. Just you want me to pop you in just to see what happens?
Yeah, let's throw him in and see if we're all right, man. It's a little choppy, man, but
Is it working?
We can
hear you.
Video might need time to catch up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. We definitely got
I mean, I can hear you. There's nothing you're missing.
Yeah.
You definitely glitching.
Yeah, you glitching.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Mm.
It's not working. We should have working.
You on your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you on Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Yeah. Snap. Okay, do me a favor, reset your router, come back in and try again, because it's like even your voice is choppy. Like right now, you frozen. Okay.
All right, we'll try to. Paul, you there? Let me get you on the stage.
Yeah, let's bring Paul in, man.
What's going on?
What up,
guys?
man? What's going
Paul
on?
Ski, man. Good to
Film is in the building.
Yeah, I'm channeling my inner nomad today. I can't do a visual because I don't have the backdrop set up and it's fucking hot, so I got the fan going. I'd prefer to, stay cool, shirt off. So yeah, nobody wants to see that, right?
No, I have no interest.
Trust me, if you tell me right now, you'd be like, go back to your old shit, bro.
No, for sure. But thank you guys for having me on, man. It's been a minute, dude. I just want to tell you, like the other night, I live right across the street from a sports bar, right? So like my window kind of faces the side of the sports bar, and it's late at night, 12, 1 a.m. I just got done making a video, and I was gonna step outside real quick, for a quick smoke and whatnot, but these 4 guys are sitting there at the side of the bar, and they're making a ton of noise, being loud, and honestly, like, if I was bothered by it, like, then shouldn't have gotten a place next to a bar, right? Like,
Hey,
you know what you're in for, right? So I'm not bothered by it at all. Like, I don't care. But I'm looking at it, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go mess with these guys for sure. And so it's like 4. I mean, they must have been in their like mid-20s African American guys, and you know what I mean. And I went out there, dude, just total like. I don't even know what to describe it as. Just total John going up to him being like, hey guys, I live across the street. I know you guys are having fun and blah, blah, blah. And just trying to be like that dude that's about to complain. And I was like, but do you guys like the Bears? They're like, yeah. And I was like, here's a business card. Here's a business card. Here's a business card. Go check out my channel. Make some badass fucking videos, guys. Have fun, party on. Dude, and like the whole mood changed. It was such a 180 swing because they're like, here we go. Like, this dude's gonna sit here and give us some bullshit and whatnot. Nah. But they all 4 of them subscribed. So
Nice.
It's kind of cool. Hell yeah, it's nice. But you got to be real with people, man. I love messing with people like that, though. It's kind of like
And all
that.
you have to do is ingratiate yourself.
Oh, for sure, dude. For sure. And it's like that Andy Kaufman type of comedy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. For me, it was very enjoyable. So,
They thought
Yeah, I
you was
always
going
loved
down the road of a Karen, is what they
oh,
thought.
for sure, dude. They thought I was about to be like, hey, can you be quiet, please? It's late, blah, blah, blah. Like, and I totally wanted to set that tone up. I don't know, man. I just like messing with people sometimes. For me, it's enjoyable. But, yeah, dude. And like I was saying, like, I'm in the city. I'm here. I went to the DMV, sat down next to some, like, senior African-American gentleman wearing a Bears hat. Boom. 20, 30-minute conversation until he got called and had to go. And it's like, dude, like the love for the Bears is so real here and it's everywhere. And I absolutely love it. Like you feel it. You feel the pulse. You feel the love.
Yes.
It's something truly magical, man.
Hey, Paul, I have disengaged fights, literal brawls about to happen with just that.
Oh, I've done the opposite. I went down to Arizona wearing a Jay Cutler jersey on Halloween once, and fights were just breaking out around me. Like, somebody was like, hey, Jay Cutler was a good quarterback. Somebody else, no, he sucks, blah, blah, blah. And it's just back and forth. And no, but for sure, man. Like, the love of sports is truly real. And like, that is something we all share. And with the baseball teams, there's still a split, but not with the football team, man. Everybody loves the Bears here, unless you're a Packers fan.
Hey, you know what? What's funny about it, Paul? The brawls didn't have nothing to do with me. Me being a mediator and a peacemaker, I see an opportunity. All I need to do is know where I'm at, bring up a sports team that's in that vicinity. Sometimes it was down in Georgia a couple of times. I ain't gonna lie when I did that. And funny thing is down in Atlanta, it's so many Chicago people moving there. That's instant. That can go the other way real quick. That can actually escalate a fight. But just this time, a couple of times that I did it, it tuned everything down, man. And you know, the Bears, they get into a tizzy when we in town in Atlanta, man. They don't like the Chicago people in Atlanta, but it's definitely a conversation piece, bro.
You guys would be surprised, man, how frequently the Bears has helped me in the weirdest situations. Like I was interviewing for this job, bro. My first two interviews were like very specific about the job and everything was cool. Get into the third interview. Now I'm interviewing with the VP. VP happens to be from Chicago and I don't know this. So he gets on the phone and he has one of those legit, like, you know, those legit Midwest accent. Like you could tell immediately. And I was like, yo, you're from Chicago. And he was like, oh, how did you know? It's like, I can tell just by the way that you're talking. I can tell by your accent. He says, oh, okay. How can you tell? I was like, well, I'm a massive Bears fan. And at this point I had like a background on I'm on Zoom. I have a background on. I took the background off. He sees all my shit. And he's like, oh, okay. Like you're for real. And so this entire job interview, and I'm talking this job it paid me very, very well. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a big up job. This interview, all of the real, actual, legitimate business stuff ceased. It ended. We went deep into the Bears roster. Me and this man, like I'm serious.
For sure, dude. For sure.
We went deep into it, gave me the job 100%, and we kicked it and talked about the Bears for the next 3 years, man. It was kind of wild, but Bears love is real. Even this past week, same type of situation. I'm working with a municipality, and this is like a guy who basically runs a city. He's like the lead guy in the city. And all the decisions go through this guy, and he just happens to catch a glimpse. Again, I'm on Zoom, and I got a background on, but sometimes it gets shaky, if you know what I'm saying. He just caught a glimpse of the Singletary back there, and at the end of the call, he was like, oh, hey, just by the way, just wanted to bring up, I'm a huge football fan. I saw your Singletary jersey back there. Are you a football guy? Bro, me and this guy are now having calls, like, out of Zoom. He's hollering at me on my phone, texting me now. Matt, like he's promised me some major business. Bears kind of works in a different way that most people would even understand, but it's wild, it's rampant, and right now it's everywhere.
You know what?
For sure.
Also, man, I don't know where we would be as societies without sports. I think we'd be ripping each other apart.
Well, that is my love for it. Like I came here as a foreigner. It was hard to make friends, but everybody loves the Bears, so that was just such an easy way to relate to people, and be able to just fit in. So like yeah, for sure, it's a very natural type of appreciation I have for them, and like guys. Let me tell you a little story here real quick. Well, nothing with me is real quick, but let me tell you a little story. I had my ex-brother-in-law, good-looking guy, Marine, single, late 30s, early 40s. He's just, he's very comfortable with who he is, always going to, different women, whatnot. He's very comfortable with his sexuality. He bought a condo in Boys Town, right? So he started going to the bars, and it's all gay bars, right? But he's still making friends. So he had a party at his house, and I go there, and it's all filled with all his new friends that he's made. And so I find myself in a scenario where I'm talking to a 60-year-old man named Blossom who had a 30-year-old boyfriend. Right, exactly, Nomad. And I'm talking to Blossom, and I'm like, listen, man, I'm not going to judge you for who you want to sleep with. I'm not going to judge you for what color your skin is. I'm not going to judge you for who you want to pray to. I go, you're kind of an asshole, though, because you're a cheesehead. Like, I will definitely judge you for that. No, I don't know. It's all in good fun, but like, dude, that is how much my love of football really runs deep into my veins.
Scrolling.
Titty parties. Gotta love Scrolls, man. One day, Scrolls. I'm working up to it.
Don't worry about him. He's just a resident asshole, man. Don't worry about
man. No, I love that guy. He's great.
Yeah,
That's too funny.
But yeah, man, that's yeah, man. You can make too many friends too, man. You be careful.
Yeah, no. So like I was typing, guys. I got invited to go on a podcast last night, and it was on a Packers fans channel. A guy who I've done content with before, respectable type of conversation. Fully disagree, right? Like fully two different point of views, but we keep it respectful. We keep the insults tasteful, right? And he had a guy who does content creation for the Vikings too on there, right? And I'm telling you guys, man, it is the same type of I'm looking down on you type of feeling I got from them still.
It's gonna be though, Paul.
Oh,
like it's gonna be like this is the season where we're like when we're finished pulling our feet from their ass, that's when they're gonna figure it out. Like right now, they're still smelling Brett Favre. They're still smelling, Aaron Rodgers in the air.
It can't, and sometimes it goes too far. Like I was checking out the whole thing with. I was wondering why I keep hearing about this Liam Cohen comment that he made during a presser during their training camp. And all he said was they was asking him about, how do you guys think you're going to do this season? It's a lot of expectations on you guys. We think you guys are going to be good. And all he said was, all I keep seeing is Caleb Williams when I open up my phone. And all that was to me, the way I interpreted it was he's basically saying these are the woes of a small market team versus this big market team.
I don't know if
that's what I interpret.
That's how you interpret. I don't think that's how. I think that's the reality.
The fans saw it as a shot, but
it was a shot. It was a shot. I like what you said just now is actually the reality of the situation because I spent a minute really thinking about it, and you're right. Like the Jags just aren't going to get that kind of noise. They just aren't. They got to prove it first, right? Like last year could be an anomaly. It could also be the beginning of something crazy for the Jags, right? So it's one or the other. It was definitely a shot. And what I mean by that is if you recall just about midway through last season, folks were looking at the Jags like, yo, this is a potential deep run in the playoffs for this team. And they didn't do too bad. And they were really starting to tout them, whereas there was still some question marks around this Bears team. And that's right around when, in my opinion, this team was a question mark until game 10. Game 10 this season, that's when Caleb really solidified himself as as Clark Kent put that cape on when the requirement was there. But, yeah, man, I think it was a bit of a shot saying you're not covering us. We can kind of fly low under the radar and expectations aren't high on my team, so we'll do what we can, and if we can sort of sneak our way back to where we were or do better than that, don't be surprised. Whereas Ben's answer to it was, hey, look, we got a heck of a lot further than anybody would have expected, so we're the number one regression candidate. Take it for what it is. We plan not to regress, right?
I mean, I had this team at 6 wins.
Last year?
In my wildest dreams, 10 wins. Like I was like 6 to 8 wins if they just completely like do way better than I think they will. They'll get to 10 wins. They got to 11 and solidified the first place spot with 2 weeks left in the season. Like guys, we played a meaningless game the last week of the season. When's the last time we've had that?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, kids know where I'm going with this. I don't care how many wins we got. I don't care how many losses we got. All I know is in the end, we lost. And that's really
100%.
Same thing with the Jaguars. You lost.
No, man. You know I was at that game. I was at both the playoff games.
Oh, you were?
Yes, 100%.
Oh, you must have been losing your mind.
You'd have put your ass on.
No, I wasn't.
No?
It was so weird because at the Packers game, at halftime, down 21-3, I actually stood up. I was in the 400 section, like in the nosebleeds. I stood up and started like yelling it to the people around me, like, we all know we're going to win this game. We all know we don't even play our best football till there's 4 minutes left. Like, but like the feeling, it was something I had not experienced since the Jordan days, man. I just knew you're coming away with it.
We could, like, watching that game, you could feel it.
Oh yeah,
at home, right? Like it was a little bit of a weird situation that particular.
You and Paul talk for a second. Let me go see who's at my door. Bro.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Cats. It started off with that field goal. The second it was 21-6. I was like, okay, here we go, guys, here we go, and like, I'm sorry.
I only had a little fear when what's his name, man? When Matthew Golden got his touchdown. When he got his touchdown, I was like, oh snap, we're deep. It's late. They got to score now. You know what I mean? And looking at the crowd, because they went around a couple of times and they kind of looked at the crowd to get the crowd's feel. And it wasn't a feeling of, oh, snap, they scored again, this game is over. It was we got them right where we want them type feeling, you know, and that's what it was.
And they scored a touchdown. They still, dude, you could point to a missed field goal by the Packers and say, there's the reason why we lost. Like, their quarterback didn't play bad.
No.
It's not like they were throwing picks left. So, like, they fumbled that win, but just slightly, and that's all the opportunity we needed. And so I think that's something really, really special and unique. And it's like, dude, I'm so analytical. I'm so down to earth. Like I said, I had this team at 6 wins, right? But I'm at that playoff game, down 21-3. I've been at games like that. They're gone. They're lost. Not that one. No, there was just something in the air where you're like, man, no, this is ours. Their backs are against the wall. They're like, dude, that's special. So when I was sitting there talking with these, you know, with this Packer fan, with this Viking fan, I told him, I go, the difference is last play of that game, you had a snap fumble by Jordan Love. And then he just threw some ball that got almost intercepted. But if that's Aaron Rodgers, kids, I expect to lose that game. Right? Like, that's an opportunity for that man. Whereas this is a chicken with his head cut off running around. Like, it's
But this is what we're seeing right now. We're seeing Caleb Williams do some of the shit that other man used to do. Right? Like that icing that game, as well as, you know, 6 other games before it in that type of fashion. There's only a couple quarterbacks that I can say do stuff like that. One of them happens to be wearing green and gold most of the time. 2 of them, right? Like,
not right now.
Not this one. The other.
Yeah, exactly. They still think it's this one. Like, they still are riding that wave. It's not it, man. It's
not it. What I am going to give the Packers is something very straightforward, and I think we all have to agree with it. Their quarterback development as an organization is bar none. Like there's not a lot of organizations that can develop a quarterback like they can, and they've shown it time and time again, which is an impressive thing. What we're seeing right now is something different. We're seeing the thing that we've always said, right? And that is, if the Bears ever get an offense / quarterback run offense, the whole league is on notice. The whole league flips, and we're now actually about to see the flip live and direct in real time. First week of September this year. This is when the Bears established themselves, 50 years later as an offensive team. We've seen glimpses of it in the past, right? 2018, 2010, a little bit. We've seen glimpses of it. If this thing is legit, quarterback, receivers, tight end, offensive line, holy smokes, it's going to be an exciting season to watch. That's for sure.
Hey, kids,
it is, man. It is. This is real.
I don't know.
This is the start.
I don't know where this conversation just went, but all I know is I just got sold. I'm telling you, black kids and Latino kids in my community that have no problem No shame. It's nighttime here. Roll up to your crib selling you candy bars for their field trip at the beginning of the school year.
I hope you bought some candy bars even if you
$5
didn't go in.
candy bar in my goddamn living room, man.
All right, good. Well done, sir.
Support
well
them. Yeah,
done.
well done. Props to you, man.
$5 fucking candy bar, man.
Man,
I'm just like, man, hey, hold on. Most people's parents will tell them, don't be just rolling up on people's cribs at night. Man, they ain't scared. They ain't scared at all, bro. Let me tell you right now. They wasn't at all. They're probably about, I say about anywhere between 9 and 11. It was a handful of them. They're just like, all right, man, you start to get a little Frenchy, man. We'll bust your ass right here on this porch. I'm just like, all right, man, give me the candy bar, man.
I remember getting off at the 95th Street or somewhere down there, and like I had to get some gas at the gas station. Some kid rolls up to me on a bike and it's like, hey, can I have $1? Can I have $2? I told him, man, you gotta try harder than just begging. Like, dude, you do. I'm sorry, man, you do. Like, I'm not gonna just give it to you. You got something to sell? You doing something? I will definitely invest and buy something and support you, but I'm not gonna support you just asking. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough though, man. And like, dude, I come from a life where like my parents, my family, dude, lived in communism. You want to talk about poor? Like, there's degrees of poor that.
Yes, it is.
That's just, yeah, dude. Like it's messed with them their whole lives. Like, and yeah, dude. But that's awesome. I'm a little old school myself. I like the doorbell ringing. Like nowadays, your doorbell rings and you're like, what the hell? Who's that? Who's that? Like you kind of freak out. You know what I mean? I mean, dude, that used to be such norm. And at least they're out there trying, right?
Yeah.
So
now you got Ring cameras. I can say, hey, what y'all doing? You know what I mean? Before I even come to the door. And then you see what's going on. And sometimes that's a hustle, to just be quite honest with you. Sometimes that's some bullshit too. But
for sure.
I'm not here to try to navigate through whether you're trying to hustle me or not.
Like I said, at least they're trying, no man. Like at least there's some effort into trying more than just asking. You know what I mean?
They could do some other things to get that money at you. You know what I mean?
No, I know, man, for sure.
I'll tell you a story though. One time I went to United Center with a couple of some people that I know, man. We went to a concert. And it was in the middle of the winter, bro. I mean, when I tell you, you know how cold it can get when it's real cold out there. Dude, one kid was out there in his little ass sweatshirt, no snotty, just walking up to random people. Hey, I not only gave him some money, I gave him my coat. I gave him my coat and told him to get somewhere and get your ass warm and stop asking for money. You got enough money? I gave him probably $45. I think I might have had that right there in my pocket.
Yeah,
then like $45,
kid, right?
Just get off the street and don't be out on the street for the rest of the night. Get away from this cold.
That's some true love right there, Nomad.
Gave him my coat, man. I froze all the way until we got to the top of that line and got in that building, man. But that's I'd rather go through that. I know I'm gonna get.
Once you got to the building, you were fine. That kid wouldn't have been.
Man, some things, man, you just can't do. You won't have those opportunities twice. I don't know what he was going through, but he had no business being out there without no coat on. He had a little tiny ass sweatshirt with nothing under it. No snotty, green snot too. So that's you borderline infection too.
Yeah, man. You just sometimes in life, you just got to make the right choice. You know what I mean? And yeah, dude, that seems like, especially if you remember it, recall it, it seems like it was the right choice. No, man, for sure. Like, dude, they're kids.
Yeah.
Like, they're not.
I've done the same thing over 100 times. Trip is still
100%, dude. 100%.
Trip is say something, Trip. And he's gone. And he must be in a different location today. Kid, you're muted, bro.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's off site right now, or in a different spot, trying to get up on his phone. I'm trying to do a little bit of tech support with him on the back end, but we'll see. We'll see what he can pull off.
So, guys, let me dive into this with you just a little bit. So, when I went on the podcast yesterday, the overall question was, who is the best quarterback in the NFC North? And I approached it where, like, okay, the question alone is flawed. The word best is really so broad where, like, there was a point in time in the NFL where I would look at Aaron Rodgers and say that's the best quarterback I've ever seen. However, the most accomplished is Tom Brady, right? Like, so what does best really mean? And then are we talking about best up to this point, like all his whole career up to this point? Are we talking about best for the next year? Or are we talking about best for the next 3 years?
It's a present question, Paul. It's a very present.
Yeah, because every time I hear that question, though, man, I hear answers coming from all sorts of different angles, right? And so you're not on the same page unless you dive into it a little bit more. So they told me you could answer it from whatever angle you want. It's like, okay, guys, the best quarterback in this league is Jared Goff. However, the best coach in this league traded that man away after going to a Super Bowl with him so he could win a Super Bowl, right? So when the Lions fans are all excited because they've made an NFC championship and whatnot, and I'm looking at Jared Goff like, guys, in the moment when it matters most, I expect him to shit the bed.
Oh, he will.
Yeah, he will, for sure. Yeah, and that's what I told the Vikings fan. Like, dude, when Kirk Cousins was on your team, guess what? I knew exactly what Kirk was going to do when he made the playoffs. And it came down to the last play, 4th and 8, he threw a 3-yard pass. Like, right? Like, come on now. You know what our guy did on 4th and 8 when it mattered most? Dude, I remember looking at the person sitting next to me. His name was John. And I told John, our relationship completely depends on if this game is won or lost. Because if it's lost, I'll never remember him. If it's won, I will remember for him forever. And I looked at John and I was like, John, let's see what we spent the first overall pick for. And then he avoided that sack, did his jump man throw, hit Rome Odunze, who didn't catch a ball till the 4th quarter, has been absent for 5. Dude, I looked at John and I was like, this kid's it, man. This is it. Go ahead, take your stats, put them in your pocket. Be happy that Jared Goff statistically is a better quarterback. Dude, this kid gets it done when it matters most. And although I don't want to be in those situations often, guys, all the problems here are all fixable.
Hey, Paul, I'll give you a little bit of layer to the question you were asked. And just in case that comes up again, I'm sure somebody would be like, hey, we got the best quarterback in the conference. Listen, every last one of them play in the West Coast offense, some version of it. And every last one of them, you know, depending on the one that has the least amount of experience in it is the one that just got here. And that's Kyler Murray. However, you got Caleb going to his 3rd year. What is this?
No, man, but is Ben really running the West Coast?
It's definitely a West Coast offense.
Is it?
It's definitely.
It's unique in a different way, though. I can't put my finger on it. It's not the same.
It's a West Coast offense.
Okay,
the thing is, each coach has their same version, has a different version of the same thing. It's just ours is probably more like Detroit's, which is more run heavy and more, you know, leaned into the run game versus so let's say the Vikings for that matter. They really want to throw the ball and then run at you. So it's kind of reversed that way. And you look at enough of it on film, it's the same stuff. It's just you were right to say that Jared Goff is the best in the division right now because he's the most accomplished.
100%.
He runs it better than everybody else does in the division. Close second, you got to give it to the Green Bay quarterback.
Yeah, Jordan Love,
really keeping up close is our quarterback.
Well, dude, he's got to take it this year, guys.
That's where this question becomes interesting, and I like the way that you qualified it initially there, Paulie, because you're both right. If you're asking the question right now at this present minute, who's the best quarterback in the NFC? I think unilaterally you have to answer Jared Goff. But are we talking about this present minute and in the past? Or are we talking about this present minute sealing into the future? And if that's what we're talking about, the answer might be Caleb Williams.
Well, I got to tell you the key word
Hands down.
is before you jump
It
there,
is.
before you go to a complete conclusion. Why? And shout out to Dante. He says Ben's offense is a mutt. That's true too. West Coast and Eric Coryell. Some of the same, principles. But I'm gonna tell you why you keep hearing this over and over again. In a West Coast offense, it is all about timing. It is all about timing. I must have to get this conversation about Jade Walker on the table so that we can have a little deeper conversation. It's all about timing, playing in rhythm. If that ball doesn't come out of your hand at the right time, because there's landmarks to hit for the receivers, there's landmarks to hit for the quarterback, and you have to be on time. That's why you keep hearing people say, hey, Caleb has to learn to play more on time. If he can play more on time this year, da 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 da. That's where that comes from. That's how you know you're talking about a West Coast offense. It's all predicated from timing.
So, no, Ben, can I ask you this? Like, when I looked at the Steelers with Ben Roethlisberger and, like, Antonio Brown, that was such a, like, successful backyard football style. Where it's, like, those... So, like, is that where we're headed?
No, I don't think so. I think at some point, let's just say it's not headed there in the next couple of years. I think somewhere around year 4, somewhere in the year 4, year 5, I think Ben Johnson, this is after some success, right? Ben Johnson gets off of, really pressing his issue on the Caleb and kind of lets Caleb play and gets off of the neck a little bit and lets him kind of see things from the line of scrimmage and go from there. But we're not there yet, I don't think. That's why the Roethlisberger offense turned into something that looked like that. It's because they just got off of him a little bit and let him see the game for himself and make play.
I don't think that's what's going to happen at all. I think it's going to
We're not there yet. We're not there yet for sure.
I think it's going to be quite the opposite. I think that might be year 4. Right now, just like Dante's saying, with that offense being a mutt, I think Ben is just building something. And if some of the stuff that I'm looking at out there is legit, what he's building is going to be there's West Coast, true West Coast, a la Kyle Shanahan, with some other stuff in there too. Like that's probably the best way that I can explain it. And it could look real crazy with a lot of moving parts on the line of scrimmage as we move forward. But this season is really going to be all about that timing that Nomad just nailed. And can Caleb Williams operate clockwork? Because we know we can do it outside of that clockwork. He can accomplish that. If he can accomplish both, year 3 is going to be the craziest football year from an offensive perspective. And I'm all in. Like, I can't wait to see how deep they go this season, but guaranteed year 3 is going to be wild, Paul.
Paul, hold on. Before you answer that, I'm gonna lead us into this conversation even deeper, because this happened. I don't know if you heard this when we started the show. I caught this video before we got on there. Let me just play it. Not the video, but I'm gonna tell you what it was talking about. So Jade Walker on Clocker Sports, they did a little interview with him, caught him when he was coming off the practice field, and they were asking him, I guess about the younger guys, I think it was. And they were asking him, what do you expect? I think they were talking about Xavier Thomas. What is he going to be? What do you think he is? And what can you do? What can he do? And he, told him what he's supposed to tell him. He's a bad boy. But he started to ask him, how do you feel now in the year 2 of the offense? He's like, I'm way more comfortable. I'm way more understood about where I'm supposed to be, what is, blah, 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 on down the line. Reason why I'm bringing up this conversation, because on a constant basis, Paul, you've been here long enough to know that when I bring up this conversation, it gets a little deep, and I don't never want to get so deep that people can't follow what I'm talking about. And I keep telling people all the time, anytime you're in a West Coast offense and you put new people in it, don't expect that guy to come right out of the gate and take off in that offense. It takes a certain kind of person to really, really get all the verbiage down in the first place. And so the way he was describing it, he was all nerves the entire time he was in his rookie season. And we saw some great play out of him. But he was all nerves and trying to learn at the same time. He wasn't totally understood about it, but he gave what he could and he understood what he could. And for those plays, Ben put him on the field and he got some opportunities.
I mean, Jade Walker had like what 8 catches on the year, but I
Yeah.
think we all knew that if we got to a Super Bowl, that man could have been Super Bowl MVP with 3 touchdowns and like 120 yards. Like we all know he has that in him, right? Like, and so I go back to the preseason with Tyson Bagent. Last play of the preseason game, boom, touchdown to Jade. Like, that's why you throw that ball to him against the Packers, and you know he's going to catch it because he already showed you he will. He showed you he's not going to mess it up in the biggest moment of his career. He showed you he's going to come through for you. You know what I mean? So, like, for me, it's more about the quarterback. Like, people are like, oh, you're going to feel, you know, DJ Moore going away. And to me, that was more of developing the quarterback. I think you want those veteran receivers there to get the quarterback up to par. But, man, once you're up to par, once we have to pay Caleb, oh, boys, we're shuffling through wide receivers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to pay Caleb and Rome. Like, Rome's going to go away. Like, this is going to be a shuffle, and it's because the quarterback's going to put the ball where it needs to go. Like, a lot of guys can catch it.
Let me take it down this road before we go there, Paul. Let me take it down this road. Let's just say, and we're talking about the complexities of a West Coast offense. I'm going to go into the weeds just a little bit, but I'm going to make it simple.
For sure, man. Thank you.
We're going to talk about 3 basic formations in the West Coast offense. Let me tell you a little bit of backstory of why I understand this the way I do it. When I went to college, our offense was a West Coast offense. We hired West Coast offensive guys, and people struggled so bad with the verbiage and the load. It was so much information, Paul. And when I tell you, I didn't even understand this about myself until I went to college. All I know is when I saw something, I banked it. Whether it was on paper, on a computer screen, wherever I saw it, I see the picture of the involvement and I bank it. So what I'm trying to say to you is, like, the way I see a play, like your average person might see, if you ask the average player, how do you see the play set up? They're going to tell you what they see on the field, like how guys are supposed to be, where they're supposed to be, and all the motions and shifts that comes with it. Me, I see it in like a picture, in like the picture that was presented to me on the screen or on that page. And so when I hear the play, let's just say this one, pro right, da-da-da, 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 right? And that's a pro style offense. That means it involves a tight end. You know that for the simple fact that they said pro. So there's going to be a tight end or 2 at least on this play. So you know it's going to be limited receivers. If you're on the field, you're one of those receivers. Let's just hear the next play might be trips right. And you know for a fact one of those tight ends that was on the field is going to get off the field, and it's going to be at least 3 to 4 receivers on the field. Bunch is the same kind of concept, but a little bit different. You hear those keywords at the beginning of that call in the huddle. And what you see versus what the next person sees is a whole different ball game. And what I'm saying to you guys is the way I see it is in a picture, like in a picture from like a firsthand point of view when you're turning a book or you flipping the screen on a laptop or you know, some handheld device. I see it that way. And when I told my coaches that I saw it that way, they lit up and just like, you got to start helping some of these guys. I was like, Coach, I can't help them see it the way I see it. But no, if you explain to them that this is what you're seeing versus them seeing it on grass, they see pictures on the grass through their vision. You get what I'm saying, Paul? Like I see X's and O's.
I do. Dude, I remember hearing interview with Julian Edelman where he was talking about like practicing with Tom Brady. Julian Edelman's a 7th round pick, guys. Like Tom Brady had Randy Moss, right? Like, and Edelman said, dude, you go practice with a quarterback, you usually get like 30 throws in. With Brady, it was 70, 80, like almost 3 times what I'm used to doing with somebody at practice. And he's like, and he's telling me on this route, You gotta cut this way. You gotta shift your leverage this way. You gotta put all your weight on this foot and blah blah blah. This is where the ball's gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
And he literally said, Tom Brady taught me more about being a good wide receiver than any coach ever has.
Yes, because he's the one that has to deliver the ball. And when you start hearing stories about, okay, they'll blow the whistle because you went up there and you got the wrong alignment you got to the right place. You was exactly where you needed to be, but you didn't align it right. You could be inches away from where you need to be aligning because you're going to throw off the timing of where that pass is supposed to be. Huddle up again. Get back out there. Make sure you're 2 feet away from the hash. You got to make sure you that, because when you go do that little outbreaking route, that ball is gonna miss you because you are lying the wrong way.
Yeah. The timing. No, I hear you.
And so that's why guys come into this offense and they swim. They're just swimming, and it's an uphill battle. And most of the time, for everybody that I knew that I was in contact with, it took them half a season. Took them half a season and a camp.
I'm not going to pretend that like coaching doesn't matter, because coaching definitely matters. I knew what I saw out of Caleb in year 1, and I said it at the end of the season. I know what we're seeing, and we're already ruining it. Like, I can't do this again. 68 sacks breaks a quarterback. So, like, I think this year they got back to square one. They got back to the foundation. And a little more. And now I think this upcoming year, I think Caleb's bought in on more control, more details, more leadership of the offense. And it's exciting, man, because this kid's ceiling is so high, so damn high, that, like, I said it too, like, man, I'm so analytical, I'm so statistical, like, do I want to be winning games like this? Ideally, no. Ideally, I'd like to play the first half a little bit better so we don't wind up in situations where Caleb has to be a Superman. It's nice to know when those situations arise that he steps up to the plate and he hits the home run, right? Like, that's a check. Any situation we're in at the end of the game, I have faith that he's going to get it done. And if he doesn't, I know with all my heart that, like, he did the best he possibly could. However, he's like 7 for 7 with those 2-minute and under situations where he has to come back. So, like, statistically, analytically, you can't live that way in the NFL. But boy, guys, we got a unicorn here. This might be how he lives it. Like, it's fine with him. He's doing it. I can't diminish it. Like,
well, it deserves it deserves a little bit of diminishment, but there's a reason for it, right? One of the quarterbacks who I hold in high regard for a very similar reason is Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow will dirt balls down 1 through 3, knowing that he's gonna nail it in down 4 and or down 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the type of mentality we're starting to get with Caleb, which I really appreciate. Big ups to you, Levante. Thanks a lot, man. You want to give Levante a little bit of love?
Love you, bro. He just did his renewed his membership.
Still, big ups to Levante. Yeah. Thank you for doing it, man. Mad love. But
that type of stuff supports all of us. Like,
it does.
All of us podcasters, all of us content creators, like you guys being members, you guys supporting us. It goes such a long way. I'm gonna
have to do a membership little breakdown. All I got is a super chat. But we got you covered, Levante. We're gonna get that.
He's back up, he says, man. Mad respect. But as I was stating there just with Caleb, the other half of this thing is there a way for us not to get into those 7 situations in the first place? And the way to avoid that has a lot to do with him being a little bit more controlled, having better footwork, a little bit of more attention to detail, and a little bit more attention and understanding of the offensive concepts that he has to manage. What we saw last year was a I'm calling him a rookie. He wasn't really a rookie, but he was definitely a rookie in that offense. We kind of saw him be able to grow within that offense, and by the end of the season, he had a better understanding of what his responsibilities were. He had a better understanding of what Ben Johnson wanted him to do on the field, and he was able to execute. Whereas earlier in the season, it was, growing pains. At this point, all I really needed to see from this young man was that he took some time to himself, and I hope he did. I assume he did. I just want him to take some time for himself and just get back down to fundamentals, footwork, making sure those balls don't sail, things like that. And as stated, we started to see less and less and less of that as the year progressed. I expect him to come out this year and be able to nail stuff.
I'll tell you guys why you saw all the shit you saw. It's Ben Johnson has done, if nothing else, he's done one of the better yeoman's job of getting a quarterback to stay settled and trust his protection. Number one, they invested into making sure that he can sit in that pocket. Number one, that's the thing that we all tend to forget. He came into here as a rookie dealing with a ragtag unit for the most part. They were still trying to put that shit together. And by the time Ben got here, okay, right away, this is what we're going to have to do right away. Make sure that when we ask him to stay in this pocket, and even when you have to ditch this pocket and move around and make yourself mobile, get back to where you need to and look down the field for targets instead of just taking off and trying to get a 4 to 7 yard gain. Stay in that pocket. There's another 18 to 20 something yard passes, a few of them that you can go and throw, because now the play is kind of broken down. And so he taught him the value of why we teach you to stay in the pocket and trust the pocket. There's plays out there. But if you run, that's one of the things, Paul, you had to notice is even when he scrambled, sometimes he got right back to where he needed to be to launch that ball, didn't he?
Well, no, man. Like I said, 68 sacks. My prediction was they're going to get it down to 40, and they got it down to in the 20s. One of the ways they did that was by just scrambling, creating an opportunity potentially. And if it's not there, it's not there. But this isn't a sack anymore, right? Like, there's a lot of different ways they address just basic issues that this kid was having. And I think the growth was tremendous. I think it's very diminished because I don't think people understand where this kid started off. Oh, yeah. Like he started off a couple steps back this year because of, guys, Eberflus was not just bad. Like, I remember arguing with people, oh, well, he's a defensive play call. No, shut up. Like, this guy is atrocious in leading a team as a head coach. And I was all for getting rid of him a year before we got rid of him, but knew it wasn't a realistic option, right? Like, I was like, just give me Jim Harbaugh here. Go ahead, guys. You're muted, my guy.
I'm with you, bro. I'm just putting my hand up because I felt the same way a year earlier, too. I was like, how is this hokey motherfucker still on this team as the head coach? He should not be here. You need to part ways. And all I can say is I'm glad it took an extra year for them to get Ben Johnson. That's all I can say about that.
And I don't care who the coach is. I don't care who the coaches are. I care who the quarterback is and running back. I don't care. Listen, if that offensive line ain't where it needs to be, if it ain't up to snuff, and if it can't take care of what they're trying to do, if you can't execute, I don't care who you put back there. I don't care who's coaching it. If you didn't invest the money or the draft capital to make sure that offensive line is where it needs to be, then you just failed from the beginning. And that's why Ben Johnson, that's the first thing that happened when he got here. They made big investments in the offensive line because he knew that had to be the starting point for everything that we ask him to do. How we're going to ask him if he's not safe back there?
And no, man, my co-host, it was week 4. We're 2-2. And we're doing a podcast, and his question to me was, what is the most surprising improvement on this team for you so far? And his answer was the offensive line, specifically run blocking.
Exactly.
He saw it in week 4. He's like, these guys are out there manhandling people. Guys, we went through the entire season with 2 running backs.
Yep.
Like, I did not think that was possible to get the type of production we did out of our running game that we did. I'm still very skeptical going into this year because we didn't draft another running back. Yeah.
Hold that thought, Paul. We got a super chat coming. Shout out to Smitty Q. He part of the replay game. Smitty's one of our resident truck driver. He is our resident truck driver, Paul. But whenever he can, he's always in this BI and letting us know he got love for what we do, and we got love for him too, man.
I listen to sports radio every time I'm in my car. That is what my radio is set to, ESPN 1000, or I put my phone in and load up YouTube and start listening to, so yeah. Appreciation for Smitty, for sure.
Thank you, Smitty. We love you, bro.
But guys, like for me, I look at this thing and it's like, okay, so statistically, Jared Goff's the best quarterback, right? Jordan Love is very consistent. He's not average. He's a high average, if anything. But like you got 4 playoff appearances, all first round bounce out. Jordan Love's got he owns 2 or 3 of those. One was Rodgers, I believe, but whatever. Matt LaFleur's a damn good coach, right? Like Kevin O'Connell, wasn't he the quarterback whisperer? He could make any quarterback great until they messed up so bad. So bad. I might have been the only one out there saying do not draft a quarterback.
Nope,
just give Darnold his money and repeat. Like you won 12, 13, 14 games. What else do you want? Like just repeat and try again. And they didn't. They thought they could improve in the quarterback position. And that's the key there, guys. Because I don't believe in Jared Goff. I don't believe in Jordan. I believe those teams need to improve in that quarterback position. And the only improvement possible is getting it done at the very end. Like I said, I expect Jared Goff to shit the bed. Jordan Love, what did he do against us? Snap, fumble, desperate ball. Like, that's what happened at the end. Yeah, sure, he had a 4-touchdown game, no interceptions. But you need other things to go right to win. Not our quarterback. Dude, I watched Peyton Manning leave a team, and I watched that team lose every game. Or except for one. Like, the amount of issues a quarterback masks, the amount of production that a quarterback can make up for is unbelievable if he's like one of those top 5 quarterbacks. And I believe what we're looking at in this league is a good handful of guys. Like there's a top 5 that's solid. We all know it. Patrick Mahomes, it's Allen, it's Jesus Christ, Joe Burrow, it's the Ravens, Lamar Jackson. Like there's 4 right there. Like we all know those 4 guys are legit. After the top 5 guys, like probably add Matthew Stafford in there, I guess maybe, but like 6 through 15, those next 10 are all a shuffle. Sam Darnold just won a Super Bowl, right? Like I can see any one of those next 10 quarterbacks winning a Super Bowl. However, other things need to go right for them. Whereas those top 5, man, they could just get it done. And like we are right at that cusp of figuring out, is this kid like guys, for me, most important way of building a team, right? Quarterback, coach combo. I don't care which order it is, get those 2 right. After you get those 2 right, for me, it's left tackle, which for us is like a ripped off Band-Aid that's been put on, ripped off again and put on again, right? After left tackle, it's defensive end, which motivated? No, we have Montez Sweat, who's supposed to be a DE2 ideally, right? And then I would say get yourself a lockdown corner. Everything else shuffles. Wide receivers are going to shuffle. Tight ends are going to shuffle. Well, maybe not tight ends. That's actually an interesting topic. But like every other position kind of shuffles a lot if you have all those other pieces there, right? And so like I'm worried about our team because of those 3 things I mentioned: our left tackle, our defensive end, and our corner.
Paul, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. You're not wrong.
But we might have a guy that can make up for all of it. Is what I'm saying.
One thing I want to try to stress to you a little bit, and I'm a kind of spin this because I'm about to do something. One of the things we know for a fact, and I tell kids and trips this all the time. I said, if you watch and see the successful teams, the ones that win the Super Bowl, in the
Who
last
did he
couple.
go to again? He signed somewhere, right?
I don't know. I don't think he has. However, the teams that the better teams in the end of the season are the teams that have the better defense and the teams that can run the ball. And so when I say better defense, it starts with you got a team that can stop the run, and then it's going to set you up in an advantageous position to be able to stop the pass because you're playing left-handed. And we're talking about Vita Vea right now because Vita Vea has asked for a trade from Tampa, and the Bears fan base are, they all over anything that might be available. However, this is interesting for the simple fact that Vita Vea is again one of those rare individuals in the NFL. I won't put him on the same pedestal as you got your Myles Garrett's of the world or your the guy that's from the Raiders that everybody wants to get. I'm talking about from a standpoint of how you control a game and how you give your team the better chance to win a game. It starts up front. And Vita Vea being out there asking for a trade, Ryan Poser better be on the phone, whether it's a doable situation for them or not. You better go find out because this guy can change everything up front for us.
Absolutely. Last year, Michael Parsons was available, and I said, no, not yet. I understood why the Packers made that move. They're in that position. They've made the playoffs year after year after year, keep getting bounced. Their obstacle is different than ours. I said, I just need to be sure Caleb's the guy before I push chips all in. Guys, Caleb's the guy. We got to push our chips all in at some point.
And if that's the case, this situation needs to be investigated with everything we have.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, they ain't gonna do this one though. Like it's so. Damn.
No, I hear you, Kat. It's probably not this one, but they got to make some kind of move here at some point. You cannot go through this season with the defensive end we have. Like we're relying on Austin Booker. He's already outplayed his 5th-round pick value. Like I'm already happy with that.
There's a small bucket of guys that can change your fortunes, and a couple of them, one of them's already gone. That's Myles Garrett. This guy, I hate to put him right next to Myles Garrett, but in the middle of a defense,
wow,
he's high, probably the highest level. We're talking about he can get it done.
So, all right. So this is a name that I brought up about a month, maybe a little bit longer than that ago. But we've taken a look at a bunch of particular free agents and had different discussions about it. This is one I would actually really I would really appreciate if they took a good look at it. I just went and took a quick peek to see if he had signed anywhere. I don't believe he signed anywhere else. Mm-hmm. I also don't believe that the last words that I'm seeing out there is that Tampa may just not be even considering trading this particular player. What's weird though is that this is more or less the end of his contract. His contract was backloaded. They're paying the most for this particular player right now this season. So it would almost be in their best interest to offload that cap if he has issues. So don't be surprised if he winds up going somewhere. Now, here's why I don't expect them to do this. There's just flat out too much money tied into Grady and Dial right now, where this guy would be supplanting Grady potentially. I know this guy would be supplanting.
I'm sorry.
I'm so with you, dog. I'm actually right there with you on that one. This particular player would really be supplanting Grady Jarrett, unless we see something stellar from Grady Jarrett, which we may. This season, I strangely believe we're going to see a lot out of. I think we're going to get a lot out of Neville Gallimore, and I'm saying that mainly because I've watched the kid grow up and play for the better part of his life. But I think we're going to get something out of that particular player. But most importantly, at the end of this season, they're going to be able to refresh the books. And I think that's just as important as this particular year's run, right? I think 2026 is really the litmus test for the Bears. What does this all really look like? Given the existing investments, given the investments on the offensive side, has that paid off and did it pan out the way we expected it to? I think that's going to. I also think we're going to realize that there are some holes in this defense that require fixing in a major way, and Band-Aid fixes might not be the best idea. And when I say Band-Aid fix, hold on, I'll qualify that and let you go. When I say Band-Aid fix, this particular player isn't really a Band-Aid fix. He's a legitimate fix, but
yeah, so was
the
Trudell,
cost
though.
associated has already gone to somebody else's pocket.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, man. One of the things that I would say, just as a reaction to what you're saying, it's hard to argue. You can't argue what financial ramifications are. You can't really argue that, because they will be until they're not financial ramifications. However, this is why when I say everybody needs to be on the same page, that means the guy on a practice squad or fighting for a practice squad job, all the way up to the owner. Everything needs to be from the top to the bottom, or the bottom to the top, on the same page. Are we prepared to go all in if necessary? Now, where it can get twisted is if some financial guy, the guy that does accounting for the Chicago Bears, the guy that keeps everything feasible financially for the Chicago Bears, if he's the loudest person in the room, we ain't gonna get nothing. I'm gonna tell you why. Because finances can't be the last thing that a decision is made for. That can't be. If you're all in, that means you're gonna move some shit around. If you're hurt later, you're hurt later. Get a ring up in this thing. Get a ring up in this thing. And
I say the financial battle's the second half of this game.
Yes, you go all in now. And then if you gotta shape some stuff up and restructure some stuff later on to get you back swimming above water, then you do that. But you can't operate letting the financial guy keep you from doing things because it's not feasible for you. You can't do that. That's kind of why it sounds like I'm getting, a little tizzy with kids all the time.
But you're right. You're right. And like one of the interesting statistics that I wound up diving into was how much percentage of the cap space does a quarterback take up year to year. And I went back and I started at like 2010. I did it 10 years. I think 2010 to 2020, or maybe a little bit before that. I don't remember. I have this somewhere though. But it was really interesting because the average, and I would break it down like this. You got a pie. What size piece does the quarterback take up alone? How much percent of your total cap? Because the cap raises year to year. So sure, we could hear that like, Patrick Mahomes is getting $50 million a year, this and that, blah blah blah, and that's so much more than years past. But if the cap has risen as well, then he might be getting the same piece that others have gotten in the past, right? So there was a really interesting shift around the COVID time, where like there was this like 14% average. Right? So some guys would get like 12%, some guys would get like 16%, but on average, the top 10 QBs averaged out, took a 14-15% slice of the total cap. And then sometime around COVID, all of a sudden, Ryan Tannehill is getting 20% of the total cap. Why? And it's like, the most interesting thing about this whole thing that I did was that Tom Brady did not pop up once until the very last year. And that very last year I did was his first year on Tampa. After the Patriots told him, we're not giving you the Coby deal, go get it somewhere else. Go get paid. You deserve it, but you're not getting paid here. Like, go to Tampa, make your $30 million a year, whatever, this and that. That was the first time Brady made top 10 quarterback money in 10 years.
What you're trying to say, Paul, is...
What I'm trying to say is, like, I'm so... this is set up for the quarterback to have leverage and hold you hostage for a deal. This is why I didn't want to hold on to Justin Fields. It's nothing about Justin Fields. It's we're going to have to pay him top money because of where we drafted him, because of him having leverage, this and that. I am hoping so hard Caleb takes a step back and says, "No, man, take some more finances and spread it out for the rest of the team." Because that is why the Patriots won Super Bowls with field goal kickers, because they can afford a $5 million a year kicker. Like, dude, that's the next step.
Don't
hold on, kids.
Don't hurt yourself with that one, man.
That's where I was going, Paul. The thing about the beautiful thing about Caleb Williams is he's marketable. And so he doesn't have to get
he's a business.
He doesn't have to get everything here in Chicago. He's not a guy that is going to be wholly dependent on whatever this contract in Chicago is for my income. He's marketable. He's going to get probably more money away from Chicago if I see it the way I think I'm seeing it. He's marketable enough to where he doesn't have to hack them upside the head with some kind of heavy equipment or nothing to get all their money. No, he can keep himself kind of flexible because he's marketable elsewhere.
And didn't he come into this with college money? Wasn't he one of the first ones that had like 10, 12 million in the bank already?
Yep.
And guys, one Super Bowl, he's got restaurants here for 40 years.
Just let me shut this whole idea down and shoot it right in the fucking foot. Like the kid is a number 1 overall draft selection. There's no, like, Tom Brady was not. Like, here's just to make sense of things. Tom Brady was not a number 1 overall projected draft.
Yeah, but Keds, by his third re-signing, he was what he was.
I understand what he did and why he did it. It makes perfect sense. He also had a multi-million-dollar wife who's, if he's like the guy that deserves this big bag, it could affect his play. Right, he might have that. Well, if I'm not the guy mentality, then why am I putting all my? If we're not going to have this conversation, why am I putting all my energy into this team? This is what you don't want to do.
Kids, I don't think you listen to what they're saying to you.
So
I'm talking about
funny thing is,
Go ahead, Paul.
The funny thing is, it's like the game is to try and get a quarterback that's good enough to where you want to sign him to a second contract, right? But when you look at the guys that have signed a second contract, okay, so you have Lamar Jackson, you have Allen, you have Patrick Mahomes, but then you also have Tua, you also have Trevor Lawrence, you also have Kyler signed a second contract. Right, and then you have, like, Jordan Love's a little bit of an anomaly because he sat the couple years instead of playing the couple years. But, like, out of those 6 guys, you're still at a 50% bust rate. So even if you're convinced that the guy's good enough to sit there and sign long term, even half of them wind up not working out really well.
So what are we saying? Do we want
money? Merchandising deal waiting for Caleb Williams. Big, huge money. When that thing happens, you're talking about having a successful season and maybe another further playoff push. Maybe we're in the Super Bowl. Maybe we win it. Whatever it is, there's a shoe, there's a merchandise, stuff that's waiting to happen for him. Merchandising deals with, whatever company it is that he chooses to put his John Hancock behind. You talking about hundreds of $millions in combination. So why in the hell that if you listen to what they're saying, if you listen to Caleb Williams talking about what he sees for his future, he sees himself being the best quarterback ever and winning the most Super Bowls, right? This is what he says. In order for him to
so on the same page financially, and there was a understanding of how to properly play that second part of this game that we don't usually think about. That's all on the GM typically. And it's like, dude, if this kid can structure his deal properly, like, he deserves every penny, Kent. I hear you. But the reason why guys take every penny is because they don't believe in the long term. They believe their careers are going to last only so long and that's it. But like Tom Brady did a 3-hour roast where he got made fun of and made more money than he ever made for a full year on the Patriots.
It's basic. Hold on, kid. This is basically a macro and a micro view to it. What you're thinking is very micro and Caleb Williams, and it's very primal. Like, get everything you can get now and think about it later on. That's one way to
put it. No, man, that's a great way to put it.
That's one way to look at it. Now, if his words match up to what he plans on doing, then I think he's going to go the opposite way. He's not going to try to go that road, because if he plans on being true to his words and winning multiple championships and being better, the best quarterback that ever lived, you're gonna have to do some things different. And so
if you want multiple, for sure.
So
for
I'm
sure,
gonna say a bunch of things. First one is, it's crazy to me that Nomad is saying any of this. That's fucking crazy to me.
Why is it crazy?
Because traditionally he is a
He's a quarterback. He's gonna say
no. I'm talking about you. You are a player get the bag type of guy. Like that's usually the type of stuff that you would be saying.
That's when you're talking about the quarterback.
So quarterbacks are outside of this scope, I guess. Okay,
Yeah,
cool. So
whatever.
So
when Atlanta paid Kirk Cousins, I knew they had no shot.
Oh no, they had no shot. That was a huge mistake.
What are you doing?
But here, let me flip this on you guys in the way that it has to be flipped, right? So again, number 1 overall selection goes into year 4, and they're hemming and hawing about what the dollars and cents needs to be. At the end of year 4, he's a free fucking agent, and he can go wherever he wants.
It's not going to get there, though.
I don't think it is. And here's where I think both of you guys are on the right track. I think what has to happen is something actually very creative, outside of the box. And if you look at what Kansas City did with Patrick Mahomes, it was a bit of a different thing. They signed Patrick Mahomes, I believe, to something like a 7 to 10 year deal. It was a much longer deal than normal. Bunch up front. I think it was like $100 million up front. It's like a bunch of money up front, and also some licensing deals and things along those lines. They've got really creative with the way that they managed that deal, mainly for 2 reasons. The first is the whole Tom Brady idea, because at this point, his yearly take is pretty normalized, right? Like it's basically what everybody else makes as a quarterback.
By the time you're getting paid big money, the cap has risen so much.
The cap is raised, and so has the market, right? So it's normal money now. The other piece to it is they wanted to lock the kid down in year 4 to extend out to year 5 and then some. So they got everything they wanted. This particular Chicago Bears team, I think, may have to do something very creative with Caleb Williams in order to get to the desired end result. Because once more, Patrick Mahomes also wasn't a number 1 overall selection. This kid is. If anybody deserves the bag, it's this kid. Gotta say it. He shouldn't be asked to take any level of pay cut. And why I say that one more time is any other team in the league will throw the fucking bag at him.
Yeah, kid, you
100%.
keep prefacing your commentary with just because he's the number 1 pick.
It's important. It's important.
Okay.
That has status, but at a certain point with Caleb, it has to be just a thing that's in your trophy case.
No, but no, man, that matters the first time around. Like, the reason why we're going to lose Rome right now is because he was drafted pick 9 overall. And by the time it gets time to pay him, he's going to have some leverage based off his draft status, right? Now, Brady, what I'm talking about with Brady is that when I did this little thing in 2010, Keds, when I started, Brady had already signed his 2nd deal. If anything, he was on his 3rd deal, right? And so for him to go 10 years and pop up as a top 10 paid quarterback once, and that was in that 10th year, and he didn't even make the top 5. I think it was like 6 or 7. That's where Patrick Mahomes is right now. Like, Patrick Mahomes isn't a top 5 paid quarterback. He's a top 5 quarterback, though. Like, so what I need is the structure of it all. Like, I'm not trying to take the guy's money away from him. He deserves every penny, right? But you need to be on the same page with the finances of the team, because we saw Russell Wilson mess this thing up so bad. The second Russell took all that money and it was all on his shoulders, they didn't win. Not good enough.
I'm going to say what I said last week, Paul, and I don't know if you were listening at the time. I know you jumped in for a little bit. But what I said last week, which is wild and crazy, and it's already come up when we drafted him, has a little bit to do with equity. And I think it's a smart man's money. I think the smart man's money is to give the kid a piece if he proves who he is and allow him to grow that money for 2 reasons. The first one is, if he actually has stake in the organization, his want to leave the organization is minimized. That's number 1. Number 2, it's outside of the actual cap. And this is why I'm saying, like, if you want to go down the road that we're going down, there are creative ways to get there. I don't think that creative way is him just taking a hit like Tom Brady, because that's on the kid. And if I was a 23-year-old kid, first overall draft pick who's lighting up the NFL and just came off of Madden, fuck 100%. Y'all, give me my money, y'all.
We trying to get some clips out of this. This is a great conversation. Hold on for a second.
This is why this year, yeah.
This is let me tell you something. And I'm gonna pull us back just a little bit. One of the things we're doing is projecting into the future. And we're talking about, when I tell you this year needs to play out in a very, very strong way for him, I mean that in the strongest of terms. He needs to have a bust-ass year in order for any of this stuff, in order for any of this to even come to some kind of remote reality. Number one, he cannot have a regressive year.
You're right. He's got to go do it, though, man.
Cards are already in the deck. It's just about time. It's just about time that the dealer starts sending out the cards. That's where we are. I don't see very much chance of him not showing out this season. Everything has been. No, he does, but right, like, and if he doesn't, this conversation goes in a completely different direction.
Guys, this kid's a star. That's what we have in front of us, and we're just so jaded and PTSD, like mofos here. I swear, no man, but I know you don't like that stuff. But like, guys, there is no doubt in my mind this kid's going forward.
Me neither.
And it's special, man. This is why I said, like, I went on this podcast with these guys from these other teams, and they're treating us the same. They have no idea what they're in for. I'm a very critical person, and I go on podcasts of your very dear friends, Nomad, like Bears Country podcast. I know you got your relationship with that, but dude, I went from being called very pessimistic on there to suddenly optimistic. Oh, we love how your glass has become half full, Bearski. And it's like, no, guys, the situation has become half full. They've earned my respect. I am very critical. I have nothing to complain about. It's unique, dude. Like, I'm full of complaints. I got nothing. This is panning out. Like, this is gonna happen. I have no doubt in my mind, Nomad, that we are going to be facing all these situations that we're trying to talk about. Like, no doubt.
You know what's good about this whole thing? What I think is great is the fact that once you have a season like that, when nobody was expecting that to happen, next thing you know, you got all this wind behind your back, and everybody expects you to be this and be that. That's the good thing about expectations. The better thing about expectations is the person that's leading the charge can accept them and if you can relish in the tough moments. That's what I'm excited about, is the fact that I found out that this guy has some mettle. You can have mettle in college football, you can have mettle in high school football. When you get to this league, and with all that wind behind you and people expecting you to do things, if you show me that you can turn into a different animal out there in the middle of a game in real-time moments, I'm a fan of yours now. Now you're something.
I love that.
I can relate.
That is so true. So true. And I think when I look at this situation, when it was 2018, I was not bought in, guys. I was like, this coach is like setting up a disco ball in the third quarter. Like, I remember us getting a false start, the camera pans to him, and he's just in that big play sheet of his, like he didn't even realize we're 5 yards back than we were. Meanwhile, this guy we have now, we're up 20-something points in a preseason game, and he's locked in. Like, so for me, this is very real. And like, Nomad, you said it when I first came out. We failed last year. Last year was not a success. It was still a failure. And when I look at the team and I listen to everything coming out of that locker room and all the press conferences, they deem it as a failure. Like, they know. Yeah, okay, that was last year. We got this year now. This year starts fresh. This year starts nothing from that year carries over.
Nope. #1 regression
Guys,
candidate.
they're right there. We're not shutting off TVs in the locker room because we don't want to hear the narrative and blah blah blah. This is so right, boys. Like this is the way it's supposed to be. I have no complaints. I have no doubt. Like we're in a tough ass division. We're gonna take this thing.
So, gentlemen,
I mean, we already did, but we're gonna keep it, man. We are.
Why this is a powerful conversation that we're having is this is one of them times where you know this little contract conversation that we're having about Caleb Williams right now is what they would call a good problem to have, right? This is exactly the type of conversation that we should be having. I think all of us, and I'm saying the three of us here right now, but I'm going to speak, for Bears fans everywhere. I think we're all at that point where we believe that we found ourselves a quarterback, right? Like I think he's the guy. I think he's going to come out this season and prove that he is that guy. And when he does, this conversation will become a little bit more real. Once again, that's not for any one of us to really negotiate with respect to this kid's contract and how it shakes out and at the end of the day. But I'm so down to hear how it does because I expect this young man to crush teams. I expect this young man to be a Chicago Bear for a very long time. And I'm so with all of that.
But Keds, you know what I'm bought into more? And Nomad, I'm going to gear this question your way again. What I'm bought into more is the head coach. Keds, say he doesn't crush it. Or say he comes just short. I expect Ben Johnson to do what Sean McVay does. And Nomad, I've broken people's brains with this. I'm going to toss it your way. The Rams made a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. Say we even have success that comes short of that. Say we still make the playoffs, but get bounced out. If it comes to a time where Ben Johnson wants to trade Caleb Williams for a guy like, I don't know, Justin Herbert, I'm all in on Ben Johnson. That dude is legit, man. I don't care which way this thing goes. I think the most real, confident piece of this whole puzzle for me is the head coach. Man, I want that guy here for the next 15, 20 years. Like, do what the Steelers do. Sign this man right now. And guys, during the offseason, I was pitching for Vrabel. And Vrabel had more success than Ben Johnson. But when he did, I wasn't sitting there going, oh, see, I was right. I was going, no, I was wrong. Because Vrabel's not taking his shirt off in the locker room. Andy Reid's not taking his shirt off in the locker room. This man is not only a great coach, he's got the city bought in. There's levels to this thing. This guy is so damn good at his job. I can't wait to see the next couple of years, no matter what happens with player personnel, period. Even if it is upgrading from Caleb, even if I think Caleb's great. Like, dude, that's the guy I'm bought in on. Ben Johnson, for me, is who I'm following right now, man. Like, I was so worried about how much we paid him. He's worth every damn penny so far. I had like a red flag in preseason. I was like, oh, here's the first red flag. I don't even remember what it is.
Bear Truth Don was like, Paul, you went a little far, man, but he's with you. He likes Ben too. I'm
no, dude, that's the guy I'm bought in on for sure, guys. That is
me too.
That is who I'm behind. 100%.
Me too.
I'm all in on
I call him football cycle. This guy.
And I believe Caleb is the right match with him. I do believe that's
I believe both of these guys for different reasons are the right selections. This guy here, I was interested in Vrabel. I was also interested in a few other coaches, but not over this guy. And the main reason is just because of his offensive prowess. Even as a wonderkind or a guy who's never, been the head coach of another team before, I felt the need for us to be an offensive powerhouse. We've tried the defensive thing a bunch of times. We had some success with the special teams head coach with Ditka, but I think there really needed to be a true changing of the guard. And unfortunately, Matt Nagy lost that team when he lost it. I was excited when he came in and did some of the things that he did initially, but that team was lost, and then he sort of devolved into word salad, and we could sort of see the writing on the wall. I don't see that writing this time around. I think that this offense is going to be a destructive force in the NFL. I think we're going to have a great time watching it, and we'll see how many wins we can stack up this season, because there is potential for us to go even deeper than we did last year.
But I said I was gearing this question for Nomad. Nomad,
I was just about
if
to
something
say.
crazy happens, like Ben wants to, in 2 years, we have to pay the Caleb, and instead we trade him for a guy like Justin Herbert. Are you in on Ben?
I didn't.
Before you answer, are we cutting?
Nomad. I'm trying.
Sorry. Before you answer, are we cutting bait due to money, or are we cutting bait for another reason?
Well, why did they cut bait with Jared Goff? I mean, they made a Super Bowl with him, Keds.
Completely
if we
different
made a Super Bowl with Caleb, it's really hard to be like, that guy's not enough. But it takes a real coach with some fucking big balls to make that decision, man.
A portion of that was money, right? So Jared Goff, in that case, had gone to the Super Bowl as a,
Matt
I think,
Stafford's
in year one or
not
year
cheap
two,
either.
right?
Stafford's not cheap, dude. Like,
No. Matt Stafford isn't cheap, but when I say money, it was a question of, do we want to put the money in this guy, or do we want to put the money in a guy that we believe in?
That's the same question. Do we want to put the money in Caleb, or do we want to put the money? Like, the only other example I could think of is Justin Herbert, because I do look at that guy as like a legit quarterback, not much playoff experience. It was kind of like what Matt Stafford's was in, right? Like, he's in a division with Patrick Mahomes, so obviously there's a clear leader there. Matt Stafford was in a division with Aaron Rodgers. Obviously there was a clear leader there. Like, but we all knew Matt Stafford was a good quarterback, right? No, man.
I'm gonna let y'all
shut up. You answer.
Y'all argue it out, man. Y'all go ahead.
No. It was a question for you.
No. I want to hear your thoughts. This was geared towards you.
I'm quite cool with you two guys arguing it out, because I don't even want to entertain this. To be honest with you,
because it's not going to happen. Because Caleb's going to be good enough to where he's going to be worth every damn penny, and then if he's smart enough to take less pennies, oh my God, he'll definitely be worth every. Guys, one Super Bowl. Kid's set. Could you imagine if he wins 2 Super Bowls here? That's it. He'll make money the rest of his life. Period.
I can not only imagine it, I will knock on wood and say that this is very likely to happen over the course of the next 5 years. I think there's multiple Super Bowls coming to the Chicago Bears, and a lot of it has to do with this year's litmus test versus next year's course correction. We're gonna see what we see. I can, we're so close to it. I can't wait for it to be.
I brought you full circle, my friend, because that is exactly what I said on that podcast last night. I said, listen, Goff's a better quarterback, Love's a better quarterback. I have more faith in Caleb winning a Super Bowl than I do those two guys. Sorry, no, man.
Paul, and I don't know if I've ever said this on here, and I never try to give away too much of who I am and what I've been through. I tell enough of my own stories that people can gander all they want to, but you don't know. However, I will reveal this to you. My college team won a championship after I left. Not because I left, but we built the foundation of what that was going to be when I was there my freshman year. That started my freshman year. There's rings to this. And what I can tell you all is there's traits to a championship coach. And a championship coach has to put championship coaches around him that follow, the drum beat that he's creating, right? And what I can tell you that is true about Ben Johnson that I saw in my championship team as we were building it, and it irritated me at times. And because I'd never been around coaches that were that maniacal about it. But they are maniacal about the absolute detail of every single play and every single drill, anything when you walk into that building, everything is for a purpose. And when I tell you I agree with Paul for this reason, and why he believes in Ben Johnson. I'm giving you detail as to why he's believing in him, because he's seeing the results of a guy that's maniacal about making sure when you get to this building, you get here on time and there's no excuses for it. And when you get here, this is the plan. Everybody's going to tell you the same thing, and they're going to hit you hard when you get in that building about every single thing. And when you see the results of it, and you just like, man, you ain't got to get so carried away about this. You ain't got to get so carried away about that. I'm about to get you, Bear Truth. Trust me. It's the detail that makes Paul, and the fundamentals that makes Paul so high about this guy is because he thinks it translates. It translates. And it
man,
does.
do you remember him calling out the O-line?
Hold on. Let me get this guy straightened out with this super chat, because he did show us some love here, and we got to show him some love back.
For sure. And
Shout out
by
to
the way, Bear Truth is somebody I deal with all the time too. Great
And
listener.
football.
The one and only Bear Truth 9. Question, he says, I'm worried about Allen's ability to evaluate the D-line even with the Saints. Your thoughts on this?
I guess he's talking to me.
He could be talking to all of us, but I would love it if you answered first.
I understand what he's saying. The thing about the Saints D-line and the thing about the Saints defense in the big picture is there's ways analytically where you can point holes at what Dennis Allen did. And I went to that defense and I watched a lot of their tape, Bear Truth. And what I found to be, if I had to point out anything that I thought was disturbing in that defense and something that alarmed me, is something that I think most defenses, unless you have certain types of players, struggle with. And that's an extremely mobile quarterback. That mobile quarterback that can screw up everything. You got everything covered. Everybody's where they're supposed to be. Nobody broke ranks. Everybody did their assignment, and there's a check mark for everybody's job. And then the quarterback can screw everything up. That's the one thing I saw in Dennis Allen's defense. And I'll tell you, it was one person that really stuck out in that defense. It was Kyler Murray in that defense that just tore all kinds of holes in his defense and made him have to restructure everything. That guy is scary against Dennis Allen's defense. He's like kryptonite to it. Because once he starts moving around, the principles of the defense just go to the wayside. Now you got to play catch up because he just broke you down. And so as far as everything else goes, you got to understand that defensive front with Dennis Allen. Just go look at the size and the shape of all the guys that played in his defensive front. It's almost like you couldn't tell the difference between an edge rusher and a D tackle. They all played extremely fast. Linebackers played extremely fast. Defensive back, extremely fast. And they didn't mind getting into man concepts so that he can rush the quarterback and really, really get after you with some sub packages. And so what I saw was you didn't have to have this grade A top tier defensive line because the sub packages provided a whole lot more pressure than your average defense. They get after the quarterback, whether it's an edge rusher doing it, whether it's a D tackle doing it, whether it's a safety, nickel cornerback, a boundary cornerback, doesn't matter. They got after the quarterback when it was time to, and they had the players behind that to be able to make plays. So it wasn't that I worried about their defensive front. They had some studs, but all of it works together, Bear Truth 9. It all works together. One thing has to lead to the next, into the next. So that's the best way I can describe that.
And my point of view on this is I'm more concerned about Ryan Poles' influence on this defense. Like, to me, I would rather have 3 nobodies than Dio, because they would have given me something and Dio gave me nothing, right? So, like, the fact that we're sitting there paying a guy good money that has not helped, that really cripples something. And I think that has more effect than Dennis Allen's mistakes have had. At the end of the day, this is not a good defense, guys. I mean, most categories were in mid-20s. However, we've spiked in some areas, like turnovers, which covers up everything. That's why this year is completely covered up. This defense was not good, but it's covered up because we were the #1 turnover defense. But here's another little statistic. Here's another little Easter egg that I'm going to throw at you. Actually, I want you guys to answer this. How many points did the Bears defense allow throughout the entire season in the opening drive to teams?
Too many.
How many points total over the 17 weeks did they allow on opening drives alone?
I don't know, but I know it was high.
Oh no, they were actually #1 though, man. Quite the opposite.
You said the first drive
first opponent's
okay,
drive.
I thought you were talking about first half. Okay.
No, first drive. Just the first drive alone.
Now we're getting out of that first 15, hoping to getting out of that first 15 play category, and the game starts to open up.
That's the thing, though, man. When it is structured, when it is planned out, it went very well. As it went on, it got a lot worse. But up front, first drive, Keds.
Are you talking defensively? How many did they?
Defensively, how many points did they allow to opposing teams in their first drive in total?
I'm going to say under 20 points.
You're right.
You know what you're describing, Paul?
Are you kidding me?
You know what you're describing? You know what you're describing, Paul?
What's that?
Each coach and coordinator, after what they just got through looking at on film for a week, and that's the only thing they have to look at. They don't know how every coach is morphing to what they just put on tape. So it's just like you putting your.
But no matter what it tells me is they can structure this thing for success. There is a game plan here that works.
Yeah,
with the roster we have, it's just as it goes, and things get away from the game plan, and it becomes just football, is where they start slacking. That's where you see the talent, the lack of talent.
Yeah, he's talking about what he's talking about, kids. It's like somebody that's living in Australia somewhere that puts.
I don't think it's a coaching thing. I think it's a talent thing.
It is partially. Now I'm gonna tell you though, it's like somebody putting their foot in the water and asking, "Hey, is there crocodiles in the water?" Absolutely. Is water wet? It's wet. Yes, in Australia, there's crocodiles in that water, and they're testing that water. And after that test, you're talking about the first 15 plays or so, you're getting into the first half, and you finish the first half, which is why, if you notice, Paul, why this team has been different in the second half of games. That's almost every team in the NFL. They go out there and find out what they're trying to do in the first half, and they go to the second half adjustments, and they're different teams.
And it's a different story.
Yeah.
So this is where, this is kind of where stats go to die, right? And what I mean by that is this is not the same team it was last year, especially defensively, right? Like it's also not the same team it was offensively either. So the litmus test is the season. Holding his at some point towards the end of this season, it was probably the day after Kevin Byard left the team. I had to stop and be like, okay, so this is not the same defense anymore. This is also after the draft, not the same offense. So I can't really hold them to account with respect to what they did last year, because I have a hard time thinking they're going to be able to do the same stuff. And one of those major areas of question is turnovers. Turnovers played a big part, or takeaways, if you will, played a big part of the season. I don't expect them to be leading the league in takeaways again. If they do, super, but that I don't think that can be the expectation. I think the expectation has to change. It has to be more scheme related. It has to be more speed related, because that's what they've decided to lean towards. And we'll see how those things actually benefit the defense. On the offensive side, similar things. I think we got better across the board, and we're definitely going to see a lift in points scored early. I don't know, what I can say is just to sort of even touch on what Joseph's saying just a little bit before we get into it.
Let me answer it first.
Well, before you do, I'm just saying those first drives, they're all scripted, and this is stuff that you can scheme against. So I expect us to have that type of general output again this season. I don't think that goes away. It's the remaining 3 quarters that I'm a little bit worried about.
It goes away the second you hit the playoffs. How many, as the number 1 turnover defense, how many turnovers did we get against the Packers? How many turnovers did we get against the Rams? Once you start facing the best of the best, that goes away.
It's less. It's less. And we did get a turnover on Jordan Love towards the end of that playoff game that you were at.
We got it
actually, we got 2.
Y'all, let me answer this question real quick, if y'all don't
go
mind.
for it. You want me to read it out?
Go ahead.
So Joseph Archer is asking, Nomad, if Dennis Allen doesn't do well after this year, who would you guys want to be our next DC? If y'all haven't answered this question already.
For me, it's 2 guys. It's 2 guys. Well, it's really 1 guy, but that would be the DC from Buffalo that got fired as head coach.
McDermott's a great call, actually. Not scheme, but 4-3, and you just continue rocking on.
Yeah, you don't have to change.
Really good call. Yeah, really good call. Actually, I would fully agree with that. He's looking for a job right now. I would fully agree with that. To be honest with you, I think him and Ben could just mean mug from the sideline. It would probably be the coldest stares y'all ever seen in life. I think it would be awesome to have both those guys on the sideline together. To be honest,
they're both assholes.
Yes, they are 100%.
And they are dog ass determined about what they do. Anybody that looked at the Buffalo scheme, if people in Buffalo were to just morph into this chat right now, they would tell you he couldn't stop the run either. That's what they would tell you, instead of looking at the big picture. No matter what defensive coordinator you got, it needs to be looked at in the big picture. Number 1, that Dennis Allen needs time. This is only going on his second off season. This is only going on his second off season. Numerics will tell you that any person that's putting together a unit needs a couple years to be able to put the pieces that he needs into the scheme. And then that takes time too, and then he's got to draft again. And so I wouldn't be so quick to jump on that as a reason to fear like, hey, we suck on defense. No, that guy came in here with a whole bunch of other people's talent. Got to give him time to get his own. And then we can judge him. I don't think we're there yet. I think we need this season to play out, and I think he needs another draft. That's just my personal opinion. Just to make sure that he has all the things he needs. We're already complaining about we don't have enough pass rush. I don't think that's a problem until it becomes one. And so that's that, man. I think he needs his guys, and it takes some years for that to be accumulated.
Everything is geared to help the quarterback. So the reason why it's not a problem until it's a problem, guys, we were down 21-3 in a playoff game, and we won the game. The amount of influence the quarterback has can make up for all of it. It can make up for all the deficiencies. And I'm worried because I want to make it easier for the kid. I want a stud defensive end for the kid, to make it easier on the offense. But let's, they go out there and get the job done, guys. It's all on Caleb's shoulders. And I totally 100% believe that this kid is capable of being a top 5 quarterback in this league pretty consistently too. And that's why this year is so important. Paul, this year determines that for sure.
Let me give you a change up real quick, because this is something that's coming up here tomorrow. I don't know how physical tomorrow's practice is going to be, but I know this. And I can't tell you that I'm 100% right. I can just tell you how it went when I was in camps and shit. The first padded practice ain't going to be like this 100%. We just going after each other kind of practice. That's just like the lead up into the next practice. Now, the Bears can go out there and go full throttle come Monday and just get it out there, put it out there. This is what we're going to do. We're going to be physical, right? They can do that. but I expect them to go thudding 0.25% of what they would be doing in a physical practice, and then Wednesday get out there and really get after it. However, I'm bringing up this name, Jedrick Wills. He's, listed as a third or fourth string tackle. I'm telling you guys right now, when the pads come on, there is some guys that are going to tail off, and there's some guys that are going to come on. And there's some physical guys on this roster, and there's some guys that, kind of shy away from physicality a little bit more than others. The physical part of football that everybody likes is where this guy flies like an eagle. When the pads come on, this guy is going to be somebody, whenever he gets his reps with the first team, is when you want to monitor how good this look. Now, let me say this too before we go into further conversation. Braxton and Kieran have a distinct advantage. They have equity. They've been here. They know exactly what it looks like. They don't have to wonder what this is or what that is, when to get off the ball, all that kind of stuff. They have that as equity going for them. Jedrick is definitely playing an uphill battle. But where he can even the competition is when it gets to physical football. And I'm telling you, this is when this guy flies. This is where this guy lives. Physical football. And so watch out. I'm just telling you guys right now, I've been talking about this since we got this guy. Watch out when they put the pads on. What do you think about that, Bearsky? You the guest.
I mean, dude, there's definitely room for upgrade, right? So, I don't know. Yeah, if he's healthy and stuff, it's financials too. How much does he cost him? Like right now, we're really the narrative I constantly hear is Austin Booker, and in my mind, we spent the 5th round draft pick on the kid. He's already lived up to it. If he doesn't produce moving forward, you can't be mad at him in the 5th round draft pick, right? So like, we're really leaning on a lot in a lot of different areas that are super important. Like I said, Braxton Jones, defensive end, these things need to be taken care of. I'm sick of band-aiding. Like, I don't know. Anything is pretty much an upgrade right now, isn't it? Okay, how about this? I love the Eagles' philosophy. I think their general manager is one of the best in the league, right? I love the way they operate. They traded us a 4th round pick for Robert Quinn, and Robert Quinn did nothing for them. But it was just in case, man. It was just in case they get into the playoffs and that guy gets him 1 sack at the right time. He's totally worth that 4th round pick. I saw the Rams do it with Von Miller. They traded for Von Miller just to have him there for a year because they knew they were a playoff team and they may need him in that moment to come through. We don't have anybody that I believe will come through in that moment for us. So there's a lot to upgrade there. Like,
it's a conversation to be had, and we're gonna do that. And probably Wednesday night, we're gonna talk about that in a little bit more detail about the edge rusher and some of that person. Actually, as a matter of fact, somebody I also went into his tape a little bit to see. I'm talking about early tape. I'm talking about Von Miller, early tape, and what he looks like now. And I'll reveal what I saw and tell you guys what I think about that come Wednesday. However, this guy Jedrick Wills, I'm not BSing you guys and just trying to create a conversation for a conversation's sake. I'm telling you, when the pads come on is when he, his advantages, plays into effect. He is a physical cat. You can't play at Alabama at the level when they're playing power football. This guy is a force. And he sounds like he's healthy. I listened to what's his name? Taron Armstead, who's training all these tackles right now for Dan Roshar. He's getting them up. He made sure that he stopped and said, Jedrick Wills, watch out. Watch out. I'm just telling you guys. He spoke well.
That's why
he
it's
said
super
the same
impressive
thing
with,
about
the Vikings. Look at Brian Flores, man. Like, that guy gets production out of anybody.
You got it. I'm telling you guys, I know it sounds crazy right now, but I believe in what I see on tape. When this guy's right, he's elite.
I'm hoping this spins out. I'm hoping this guy. I was saying it the other day about Karan, and I was being a little bit facetious. I hope this guy actually spins out as the guy. So, he's got first round caliber pedigree. Like that's what we're talking about here. This guy was projected to have a long, solid career at left tackle. Unfortunately, he got really, really hurt. There is a bunch of injury with respect to left tackle on this team right now. But I'm kind of pulling for this guy for a couple of reasons. And the first one is like the deal. I was listening to our good friend Greg over at Swifty, man. Big shout outs to GG and Swifty. And Greg Gabriel was kind of saying that Braxton would be kept regardless because of the deal he got. It's not like a massive, crazy deal. But even then, I do expect them to probably hold on to Braxton, whether he wins the job or not, because they had to pay him.
He got $10 million. He's going to at least be the backup, and you pay $10 million for a quality backup.
That's not what I'm seeing.
Okay, go ahead. My bad.
I'm seeing, you know what I mean? I'm seeing much less than 10. And again, it's a 2-year deal. Some of it was front loaded, and they could cut bait next year. You know what I mean? So like, it's not really 10. It might be 10 in conversation. It also has a large portion of it has to do with how many games he actually plays. So if he plays the entire season, he gets closer to that 10 mil. That's an incentive. There's an additional 5 mil in incentive there. If he doesn't play and this guy starts, there goes the 5 mil. In any event, I hope this guy takes a brass ring. I hope he really goes and he shows out in a couple of practices there. Somebody's got to do it. I really need somebody to do it. I need somebody to own this left tackle position because it's completely up for grabs, in my opinion. We know what Braxton is. What we don't know is Jedrick back up to snuff? Is he healthy now? And if he's healthy, does he look anything like he did before? Because if he does, oh boy, we might have some competition at this left tackle position.
The next conversation, and let me just say, they went 1, 2, and 3 on the left side like we thought they would. Braxton got the first team reps at the beginning. And I'm gonna tell you something at the end of this. The next day it was Kieran.
It was Karan. Karan got snaps, man. I heard.
Karan.
I was surprised to hear the name at all, but he got snaps, man.
You wouldn't be if you listened to Taron Armstead. He sounds really, really good, and his arms are a feature of his protection ability that if you listen to Taron talk about it, he's like, yeah, that definitely sticks out. He can. It's when you get it wrong, you can make up for it because of the length of your arms. He said that without saying that in a short video he did for 1-0, whatever it is, the score. And that was that. I'm going back here because telling you guys, y'all think I'm talking crazy.
I don't.
I don't think Braxton's gonna make the whole year. I don't think he's going to play all the games.
This is going to be, I think they did it this way because this guy has had the least reps with the Chicago Bears in the offense. And smart money would tell you, give the guys that have the most reps with your offense first crack at the apple. And that was Braxton, that was Kieran. This guy is playing an uphill battle, but when they put those pads on, you're talking about a whole nother week of information gathered and understanding. When they put the pads on, and another thing that I heard was somewhere during the I think it was a 2-minute drive and they got into the red zone, they subbed out Braxton, who was the number 1 tackle right now, and they put this guy in. What that would mean to me in the grand scheme of things, knowing how this shit plays out when everything is water, everything is fire hose, everything is fast. Let's get set up. They pulled out Braxton and put this guy in. Now, 2 things could have been going on. They're in the red zone. It could have been a funny formation where they wanted to use him as some kind of decoy or something like that, and then they ran another play because the details of what happened wasn't out there. Also, that could mean that, okay, we've seen some reps from Braxton that we didn't like. We saw some reps from Jedrick that we like. We want to put him in there in this situation. Let's finish the drive. That's what that could have meant. One of those two things.
Well, it could mean something else too, and this is something that Greg Gabriel alluded to, and he was just saying that these are. I think there's more structure with respect to this evaluation. They're gonna want to see each one of these guys do certain things specifically, so that they can actually grade out and understand what they have in these three players. They have a better understanding of what they have in Braxton, but massive question mark is how's the leg, how's the anchor, etc. Similar problems with Karan. Is he healthy? How's he playing? Does he know what's going on? Right? This guy, again, similar question. You're going to want to give all these guys opportunity to test things out now, and they're going to want to rotate and test all these guys once more once the pads come on.
But, like, pitch this situation to me with a guard or a running back or a wide receiver or a linebacker. Like I said earlier, guys, like, to me, after you got the coach and quarterback, the next three are defensive end, left tackle, and get yourself a lockdown corner. Don't mess with that. I am sick and tired of band-aiding that. There was a year on the Patriots where there was one first-round draft pick on the entire offense. One. And it was Nate Solder at left tackle. Like, dude, just get that solid and stop these
It's
Paul,
not
shuffling games, man.
We're
Like,
beyond that, though, Paul. Right?
I know we're in the position that we're in, guys.
Not that simple.
I'm just frustrated. I'm frustrated.
I understand. Like that, I agree with. Right? Like we thought we had it with Karan, we didn't. We thought we had it with Theo. I think we do, but he's hurt. So here we are again going into a season where there's question marks. The only upside, in my opinion, at this present moment is actually number 71 that we're looking at right now on the screen. I think this guy has all the ability to come in and be that linchpin left tackle. The question again is he healthy enough to do it? Only one way to find out.
I mean, situation play is forming where he's a better Band-Aid than Braxton Jones, because if he was anything more than that,
You're right.
he'd be on a team, right? Like starting. So I don't know.
You're right. Like so let's look at it the other way. And the odds are, again, this is probably still Ozzie Trapil's job. Like, let's be real about this. Give or take a couple of months to a year when he's healthy enough to be back on the field. The flip side is, if you're able to turn this guy into his former self, that's a win-win. Either you have him starting again next year and or the year after, or you trade him off and get some good return on investment. Right? This is a win-win situation if you can get something out of this guy.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is, I'll play those games, Keds, outside of those three positions. those three positions, I don't want to play this game, man. Like,
I know.
I want this to be a lockdown thing where we don't have to figure it out of who's better than who, barely better. Maybe this guy's a little better, this and that. Like, it's not a great way to support your quarterback. And if we believe the quarterback is the real deal, then, man, we got to get a real tackle. We got to get a real defensive end. And then let's try and get a shutdown corner in here that can stay healthy. Outside of that, man, you're going to shuffle everything else. You really are.
Think about it this way, Paul, and I just want everybody to see it in this perspective. Think about Ben Johnson getting here. Think about the investments in the offensive line that he made. He went right to the guard position. We had a tackle that he was happy about with Darnell Wright, and that's proven him right. Leave that alone. Let's get some guy in here that can coach him up and really get him structured. Got that happening. We do have a situation at the left tackle, like you said. However, how best do we do this? They've made some investments in a couple of guys here. Want to give them opportunity. However, let's play this out. Let's they got Theo that they didn't see coming to be a player in that role. That happened. And and it went pretty well as the season progressed to a point. Until they realized, like, it got to a point where, hey, you know what, this is probably not our best option here. Now Ozzy has arisen, and now he's where they need him to be, given some time. You know, you're talking about halfway through the season or something like that. However long it took, Braxton went down. All of this stuff happened during the course of the season, so opportunities were given. A guy stepped up, and that was Ozzy Trapil. And I told guys this, and I will say it again. On tape, I can see his ascension. I can see where he hit the plateau too. And he started to go down a little bit. And that was right before he got injured. And so if I had to guess, what they saw on tape was just like, okay, he plateaued and he fell right where we thought he was going to fall when the game sped up and when he got into those really quick edge rushers that really gave him some problems. He started to struggle there. I'm just being totally honest. That really, to me, says to me that this might not be the best spot for him, but he performed admirably given that opportunity. Now, how do you fix that, being Ben Johnson, thinking about what Paul just got through saying? We need to stop this, turnstile of guys coming in and out of this position. We need to seal it up. Find you somebody somewhere or another that has already done that. But yeah,
right.
That's what
because ideally you don't want a guy who's going to get hurt. That's not great.
That's not great. But
it's awesome that he played well for a couple games, but like consistency amongst an O-line is so damn important.
Mm-hmm.
Where like I'd prefer a guy that just lasts the whole year.
Yeah,
like
but that's...
in a way, but honestly, those three positions that I mentioned, you gotta figure that out. Yeah. Let's talk about everything else, but let's make sure we don't have to talk about those. Just like we don't have to talk about the quarterback, just like we don't have to talk about the coach because we know those are right. Like, to me, those are the next three steps. And I see, and the reason why I'm concerned is because I see us fumbling all three of those. I see us juggling all three of those. No, man, you mentioned Darnell Wright. When I look at Darnell Wright, I'm very confident he's going to be here into a second contract, right? Like, he's going to be here 3-4 years from now. I expect Darnell Wright to still be our right tackle. However, when I look at the other draft picks that Ryan Poles has made in years past, this shit's catching up with us now. We just watched Brisker walk away. Do we think Kyler Gordon's going to be worth keeping when it's time? I mean, I know we signed him to a contract, but like, that guy's hurt. Javon Dexter, what, maybe? And then you go off to the third round picks, like Zach Pickens. Have we even seen that guy? Like, there's a lot in the first 3 rounds that we've invested in that's about to just disappear and go away, that we really don't get any long-term results from. And although Ryan Poles is going to keep his job because of the recent drafts, I'm way more concerned about like Ryan Poles than I am Dennis Allen, because it's like, dude, this stuff is starting to catch up with us at the worst time, at a time where we're actually good. Like, we should have this figured out by now. We don't.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, like I tell these guys all the time, Ryan Poles is at the mercy of whoever is coaching his team, and
yes,
everybody always hands that bill to Ryan Poles, and I understand it.
But it might have been an Eberflus choice. You're right, man. You're right.
I think that's an Eberflus and his coordinators and the people that he wanted drafted and those coordinators wanted drafted. That's their bill. And when another group of coaches come in and they decide that, okay, we think this of this guy, we think that of that guy, we want to keep this guy, we don't want to keep that guy. That's the way I see it, and that's just, to me, the reality of it.
And no, man, you might be right, because it's like, after all this, drafting a tight end top 10, like, you're talking about the most riskiest type of position you could draft top 10, and it worked out. So maybe at the end of the day, Ryan Poles goes, what do you want? I will go scout it. Right? But he's not that upfront decision maker of the decision of what do you want. Maybe that is a conversation between the coach and him.
There is a conversation.
Hold on, Kez. The thing is, if let's just say Eberflus and his coaching staff had been successful for a year, but then they just broke down, and then next year and the next year after that, and just nothing seemed to be working, right? you in the first year, nobody would have complained about the draft picks taken because they saw success. It's just psychology. But then the next couple of years, you start to question, hey, what were we doing here? And the next thing you know, they got a whole new coaching staff that comes in here and evaluates the team and the talent. And they decide, all right, I think we need to get better here. We need to get quicker, faster. I don't know about this player as desire. Yeah. And then next thing you know, they're gone. However, Ryan Poles gets to get all of that smoked. And I don't like defending Ryan Poles, but I keep getting upset because nobody really wants to see it in the perspective that it belongs, because they found their target. It's Ryan Poles, and they don't want nobody fucking telling them anything different. And it's not the case. It's the coaches that he's drafting the players for. It's not him.
So I'm gonna give you like the corporate version of what you're
I'm
saying.
gonna piss all over it, but just know.
Real quick, try to trade up for Rome. We all saw that clip. No man, that's dumb.
So Bearski, like, what's funny is you a lot of you sound. I've brought up just about everything that you've brought up, but to a degree, I'm in a bit of a different area right now. I'm off the polls. I'm off the polls thing, and I'm hoping that Ben Johnson is actually the guy who's running the show, because he clearly made these selections this year. Like that's for damn sure. How they came
we're about to pay for the Ryan Poles. Although it might have been the Poles Eberflus thing.
Everybody's happy with it so long as it's successful.
Sign these guys to second contracts. Like that's the goal.
That is true, and that is also true. So the corporate version of this is that the VP is absolved of sin. It was all the manager's fault when the sales team shits the bed. And that could be well true, right? And in many corporations, that's how it works out. The VP keeps his job, and the sales manager might get fired, and the sales team might get blown out, or whatever team is underneath that manager might get blown out. But the flip side of all of this is sometimes, if it happens again, it's the VP, and you gotta ask the VP too, or the VP should be definitely held accountable. The buck actually lies in the VP's lap, not the manager's lap. So that's just the corporate view of this. Very similar to the structure as to what we're talking about. And you can't absolve the VP because he took input from the manager.
I think Monangai and Burden saved Ryan Poles. I mean, this last draft was a hit, and it needed to be for that guy to not get the criticism that is waiting for him, because it's there. But I think, man, like we just saw Brisker walk away. I think we're gonna see more of that. And it hurts. It hurts to see these second round draft picks and things like that walk away. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's why you trade that first overall back, to gain this draft capital, so you could take these shots, and it's a little bit easier to absolve.
Here's why I'm okay with
it's
it.
Rough. It's a little rough, because we should have the defensive tackle. We should have the corner. We should. Yeah, we tried. We did try. Man.
It's just
Darnell Wright's the only one that's gonna get re-signed here.
I'm okay with this, right?
You guys know that, right? Rome's gonna walk.
The only, and that's fine too.
Unless he has 2 1,300-yard seasons for the next 2 years.
He won't.
That's why he's gonna walk. Like he's not gonna be.
He might just get re-signed at a normal rate.
Nah, somebody else is gonna throw a bigger bag at him, man. Unless he decides to.
If he has 2 800-yard seasons, why would somebody throw a bag at him?
For potential, somebody out there like the Jets or the Dolphins.
Oh, well, okay.
I mean, come on. Somebody out there is stupid enough to do it. Right?
That's the one team that'll throw a bag just because they can throw it. So maybe he goes to the Jets, but maybe he takes a normal contract and continues. Especially if we're in a winning case scenario, maybe he just continues winning, and we don't really have to have the deeper part of this conversation, because unfortunately, for all of these wide receivers, I think this ball is going to get thrown all over the yard, and everybody's going to come in at around 800 to 900 yards apiece. 7 to 9. Like that's kind of what I'm seeing. I don't think there's going to be, unless like maybe Luther Burden, but I just don't see there being a superstar wide receiver on this team potentially. I think everybody eats.
I just don't like. And y'all,
Why
you guys
why
forgive
draft
me.
top 10?
You guys forgive me. What I don't like is when we're losing and when the team doesn't seem to be faring very well. It's always a singular target.
No, man. I had this before draft. I was saying this before draft. Like, even if Marvin Harrison Jr. falls to pick 9, I'm happy because I have a trade candidate. I don't want a top 10 wide receiver. I also don't want a top 10 tight end. That I would have been wrong about because the guy's producing. Like, but Rome's not, man. Like, this isn't going well. That's gonna be another one. So he's gonna walk. We're not gonna sign him. He's not gonna be worth the money. Like Jervon Dexter is a big question. We're gonna see a lot of high draft picks that we drafted a couple years ago walk, just like Jaquan Brisker did.
And that's
It
not
sucks.
like
what I'm
Brisker's not
trying to
bad.
tell you, what I'm trying to tell you is where it gets wrong is when I'm talking about us as fans. I'm no longer a football player. I'm just a casual fan, just like everybody else is now. Where I always see the problem is the people that say, I want this, I want that, I don't want this, I don't want that. They're always the first to feel the reverberation of when those things don't happen or when they happen. You know what I mean? It's just like fan, you have to have a fan to me, the best fan that has humility and understands that this is my team and I love this team. This is what I want and I don't want, but I'm not gonna let it affect me. You know what I mean? They're gonna do what the hell they're gonna do inside of Hallis Hall. I'm gonna roll with it. And even though in my head, you know, as somebody that's sitting on a couch right now, I think I would have done this or I think I would have done that. But that has no purview over people that's sitting there with all that information. I'm talking about not just football tape, I'm talking about personal information of what kind of character these guys have. You know, they're sitting there with a lot of stuff going on, and they have coaches that are deciding whether or not, okay, I like this guy, but at the end of the day, Ryan, when you make this call, I got this guy above this next guy. So Marvin Harrison Jr. or somebody. I love
Guys, I didn't want to draft a safety in the first round, but when it came down, like I said that at the beginning of the year, watch us draft a defensive back in the first round. But as it got towards the end of the year, I was like, that's our best scenario. We could get a safety, and it's the pick of the litter, and we're drafted mid-20s. It's probably our best option. Like, it's not ideally what I would like, but that's probably what's going to be best out there that fits our best needs. When it came to Rome, right? My whole thing, though, man, and like I get it. You got to roll with the team, and I have. I'm still here, and Rome's still on the team. But I will complain all along the way. I've gotten comments like, "Oh, hindsight's 2020." It's not hindsight when you're bitching about it, even before it happens. Like when Rome got drafted, I wasn't necessarily excited for that because in my mind, if the quarterback's good, like, dude, I would have rather just franchise tag Keenan Allen or gotten Tyler Boyd from free agency. Like, there's ways to replace the 700 yards a year that Rome has given you. And I would rather take that pick 9, try and trade it back, and I was all for Jared Verse. And now say we would have done that. Say we would have done that. Look at what the Rams just did. Traded him and a couple picks for Myles Garrett. Could you imagine, no man, Keds, if we had Jared Verse here for the last couple of years and now we just traded Jared Verse? I would all be for giving up some draft capital and Jared Verse right now for Myles Garrett because that's what this team would totally benefit from. Like, and so, like, looking back at it, it's these types of mistakes that we're gonna start feeling here. We just felt it now with Brisker. We're gonna feel it more and more for this next year and the year after, man. Like,
I'll tell you this, man. Kid, you can go ahead and go, but I'll tell you this. When successful teams are really, really good from top to bottom, I'm talking about from their scouting department, I'm talking about the GM scouting department, I'm talking about pro personnel, the people that scout pro personnel, that people are on other teams versus the teams that, I mean, the guys that scout the college personnel. Those guys got to get married. Those guys got to get married with the GM and to say that, okay, when we start drafting college personnel, how fast do we think this guy's going to be a player for us? Got to evaluate that. And once you get to that point, you gotta say to yourself, man, if we'd have drafted this guy or that guy, who's to say he would have been as good amongst the guys that we have?
I mean,
Teams
we
that
could
do
go
this
back.
well, the teams that do this well is the teams that find those guys a little bit later. Not the obvious guys like Jared Versus, obvious, but the guys that show up a little bit later on in the draft. We're heading towards success, Paul. And
Yeah,
the
but we
kind of team that
drafted
we're
the
gonna have to
third wide
be,
receiver off the board. No, man. And
Paul,
so,
I'm telling you, the team that we're gonna have to be, the kind of ownership and GM that we're gonna have to be, successful teams draft really well later on in the draft. And they accumulate that talent and those draft picks later on because they know they have to be successful later because they're successful now. And so we talking about 5, 6, and 7, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You got to smash those. The Rams have been doing that. We got to be that team.
You could have, I mean, dude, the value you have to live up to is your draft capital, right? So when you draft Rome at pick 9, you expect a certain amount of production, and it just hasn't been met. And I look at everybody out there making excuses. I've heard, oh, well, he was hurt. Yeah, so was Kevin White. So you're going to tell me Kevin White was great, but he was just hurt? No. At the end of the day, your body's your body. Your production is your production. It is what it is. I look at a guy like Justin Jefferson that got drafted in the 20s. It's amazing. I look at a guy like Luther Burden, and I'm happy to see what's next because his value is appropriate to what we spent on him.
Why Rome? Rome got hurt. I think he was well on.
Dude, because we could have been so much better off, dude. We could have been so much better off.
He'd have got probably 12 to 1,500 yards if he anything wouldn't have gotten his way. If he'd have stayed healthy, he's a 1,000-yard receiver.
There's some bucks. There's some bucks, man. There's some bucks. I watched Tom Brady do it with Julian Edelman. Like, so isn't it crazy that Randy Moss doesn't have a ring? Isn't that nuts, guys?
That is an interesting thing. It is coincidental that they ran it down that season and lost that season. Mind you, I hate that team.
That's fair.
I do respect. I have grown with respect for that team. So I don't lean into my general disdain of all things Patriots.
Before you finish, look at what Marcus is saying. He's going to the comment that I just said about we're heading towards success. And when you're successful, you're going to have to, your scouting department and your pro personnel department have to get married. And you're going to have to excel in those two areas. And you're going to have to get later draft picks and make those draft picks work. He says the Rams have been drafting well and spending money in free agency. And they've been doing it well. I'm telling you, that's where we're headed.
So
Nomad Cats, like the Rams, Puka Nacua was their guy. Where did he get drafted?
You know what's funny about that one is that Puka Nacua, and I want to come back to something, but Puka Nacua was a Luke Getsy guy. He played for Luke Getsy and was sort of trained underneath Luke Getsy. How he didn't wind up in a Chicago Bears uniform probably has everything to do with the fact that Luke Getsy just had no voice in the room.
Or Puka Nacua is a damn fool, and we don't know all about his damn foolishness.
What do you mean
it's already leaking out?
In like personally?
No, but no, man, I agree with you. Like for that position, free agency is better than drafting them top 10.
Well,
like top 10, I want a left tackle. I want a defensive end.
For wide receiver?
We need both, man. We did not need a wide receiver 3.
So this is where I'm going to actually slightly agree with you. So when we look at the Houston Texans draft the year before, the Texans had the first overall or top pick. I believe they traded or something to that effect. No, they had the first overall pick. They got themselves CJ Stroud. There's their quarterback. And then they went back, traded back up into the top 10 to get their defensive end, right? They got their edge rusher. The issue, the only issue I have with the Rome selection, and it's just the realest one, wide receiver at the upper echelons of the draft it's a tough one to live up to, man. It's a tough selection to live up to. A lot of high-end drafted wide receivers just flat out don't pan out to their draft stock. It's just a reality. Mind you, they did their thing. I'm not upset with it. I know we're going to get some level of return out of Rome, and again, it may just wind up being a long-term situation as opposed to a grandiose dollars and cents situation for Rome. We'll see. We'll see what pans out there. But I'm not like, one thing I've kind of started. There's the only time where I do what you're doing here, Paul, is with respect to reaches, right? Like if you're drafting a guy who's generally projected in the 7th round in round 3, I'm going to scrutinize it and really take put the microscope over top of it and really look and see what we're talking about. So, Ruben Hippolyte,
Ked's
fingers, Vagina Jones.
Stick to the position of wide receiver. I'll tell you right now,
Bellis Jones.
I've looked at the history of this. This isn't just a recent thing. In fact, recent history proves me wrong, because you have guys like Devonta Smith, who was a top 10 pick on the Eagles, that has won a Super Bowl. Like, you have some of these guys that have gotten drafted high recently, but before that, man, there is not a wide receiver that was picked top 10 for a good 20-25 years that had won a Super Bowl.
And that's
we're talking about a long history of that for some reason. And I'm not saying they were bad wide receivers. I'm not saying Randy Moss was a bad wide receiver.
So here's where
win a Super Bowl. Like, at the end of the day, when it comes time to pay those guys and how much you have to pay them and what their influence is, dude, you got a good quarterback, he'll make the wide receiver. You could get it done with a 7th rounder like Julian Allen. You could get it done with a 5th rounder like Antonio Brown, 5th rounder like Tyreek Hill. You could get it done with guys that are not picked top 10.
You're right. And this is why, in my opinion, and for multiple reasons, why when they reached for Xavier Thomas, which is exactly who ATF is talking about in the chat, I had to stop and be like, what the F did you do here? Why would you select this guy? And
no,
just like I did
I'll
with
reach in the 4th round all day, cuz.
Well, you probably should if you know what the hell you're doing. And either way, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look at the reach. I looked at the Velus reach and I was like, I don't know. I looked at the Xavier reach and I'm like, oh boy, I see exactly what Ben wants to do with this kid. And if he does any of the stuff, it's going to be wild. Like, it's going to be wild and crazy shit.
You're going off the point. Like, right now, what is Rome's value? What could you get back? He's going to be your Allen Robinson. If you trade him, you're not getting a 1st round pick for Rome, are you?
Well, if we're talking about today,
yeah. If you trade it to the Jets,
much like what you said about Caleb, right? If you're talking about today, you're getting fuck all. You're not getting anything for him,
right? So that difference in draft capital, Keds, you know how many 4th rounders I could get for that draft capital to take a shot on, like Xavier Thomas?
That's a fair way of looking at it.
Man. Like, what bothers me is the mess ups early on, which seem to be a pretty repetitive thing when it comes to looking at Ryan Poles. We just saw Brisker walk. We're gonna see Rome walk. I don't know if we're gonna sign Dexter. Tyler Gordon's a question. Tyreek Stevenson's not been what a 2nd round pick should be. Like, all the last couple of years, man, these first 2-3 rounds are rough. So, like,
I don't argue.
We're gonna feel it, man.
In most cases, I don't argue, and this is why I'm strangely, Bersky. This is why I'm excited about this year and why I call this year the actual litmus test. There's a bunch of things that have to go right and or wrong. The real upside about 2027, as I was saying, is that there's the ability to free up cap and make massive change if massive change is a requirement, right? There are some 2nd rounders. There are some 3rd rounders here that might be in question. Tariq is a great example. Personally, I have all the faith in the world in Tariq. I think Tariq shows out in a leadership role this year because he has to. You know what I mean? Like, this is just kind of where we are.
I'm positive on him, but how much are you going to pay him?
really you give him
when it comes.
No. You don't have to give him top of the line. Like so let's do the what if now.
Yes,
if we're going to do the what if, if we're going to do the what if, let's go to the Super Bowl. What if they win the Super Bowl? Then what do you pay Tariq Stevenson?
So, well, that's different.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
if you get the job done, I will pay you something that doesn't make sense as a thank you. Like, I get that part of it, right? Like, but to just answer bare truth here. So, what has to change to get better? Bare truth, it's already changed. And so this is where I'm at. If I'm Ryan Poles, I'm drafting a tight end top 10. I'm going, man, I'm about to get fired here. Like, that is the riskiest position to draft top 10. Do you know how often top 10 tight ends actually pan out? Like, that Colston Loveland's pan out. That says to me a ton about Ben Johnson and what kind of direction he's giving Ryan Poles. And like we said, Ryan Poles may be the best supporting type of GM to the head coach, and we might have just had a crazy person picking those top picks. Maybe at some point I would say you got to step in and just say no, but whatever. Like, it could still turn around. Ryan Poles is not going anywhere. It can still turn around, and the last draft has been very positive. I hope this draft is too. But like, we're gonna feel those pains from his early draft now coming up. However, we've also accumulated the draft capital to be able to gamble with.
This is why I don't think it's going to be painful, Paulie. Right? Like,
but it's more painful to me than like questioning Dennis Allen. I'm more worried about what Dennis Allen has to work with than Dennis Allen himself, right? So like, a lot of these major issues have kind of been band-aided. Like, guys, we still only have 2 running backs. How did we not draft a running back?
Well, I like everything. Like, it's crazy talking to you, Paul, because everything you're saying here today, I've definitely said at one point over the course of the last 7 months. Like,
it's all okay, Kens, because we got the quarterback.
No, that's
all
not
that matters,
okay.
man. That's all that matters. It's
actually okay in, like, just given the context of the conversation. The actual area where it's okay is because I watched Ryan Poles was retained in a major way by Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson could have come in here and said, yeah, I'll take the job, but he's got to go. So there is a relationship there and a little bit of what I would call, Ryan Poles being beholden to Ben. We watched the first draft, and there was a lot of question marks in that draft. 90% of the question marks, including the tight end that you just brought up, showed up and showed out last year. So I have actual faith in the coach, much more so than Ryan Poles. Like, I hate to say this, Ryan, like, if you're listening, like, I hate to say it. I have faith in the head coach, and I have a feeling that the head coach really led you down that path. I believe the head coach led him down this path again this time around. And we were doing the draft together, me and Nomad, and we got out of the first round. We're heading into round 2. And I said to him on a break, and I believe Tripp was there with me, and I was like, guys, like, I don't be surprised if we go offense again tomorrow, right? Like, don't be surprised. And they're like, oh, you got to be kidding. They're getting some defense in. Don't be surprised if it's offense moving forward. And when he did, my comment was Ben Johnson just walked in the draft room and, like Debo, and said, like, that's a nice bike, and slapped Ryan Poles and made the rest and drafted the rest of the stuff out.
I'm not willing to critique Dennis Allen then, Keds.
Well, that's okay. I don't personally think Dennis Allen should be quote unquote critiqued right now. He has not received any of the groceries that I think he needs outside of safety.
That's
right? Like, he got the safety.
Like, he has not gotten anything. So if anything, like, this defense has overperformed. Like,
he simply agreed more or less to make do, as as a certain Mr. Huxtable used to say, make do with what you got. That's more or less what he's doing. I have a little bit of faith in this thing. I understand the concept. My faith is really at this point in Austin Booker. If he can stay healthy, stay on the field, he may turn up and show out this year too. If that's the case, I think a lot of the noise becomes silent. Same token, that's a massive question mark. So we'll see what that looks like as we go.
Position too. Like, you can never have enough defensive ends. So like, he
can play more than a rotational, and like expect him to play more than a rotational role, because most of those guys are hurt, right? Like, there's a lot of injury at that
across the league
at that position.
Even the best defensive ends are not out there every snap.
No, you got to rotate. Somebody else has to come in and do some, and help you out. There should be 2 to 3 players on the edge on either side, right?
So even if Austin Booker is a stud, we're still falling short, is what I'm saying. You're
right. They need to evaluate that throughout the season, though, Paul.
Yes, they do, and that's why this team was 4-2 with Matt Eberflus. And I was like, this is garbage, and people were trying to crucify me for it. And I was like, no, this is trash. And then they lost 10 in a row. Then they were 4-2 last year with Ben Johnson. Same thing. And I was like, this is positive. Completely different completely different narrative based off of the same record and outcome, right? Guys, if we're 4-2 this season, we better be pushing chips all in and trading for a defensive end, man. We gotta clean that up, though, man.
Here. You got a respectable question here, Bearsky, if you want to read it and respond to it.
Since Allen got here, what free agent and what draft did he ask to get? Name them. Like, well, that's what I'm saying, though, Bear Truth. He hasn't really gotten much of anything. We're working with. And yeah, respectfully, dude, you can do it disrespectfully. I don't care. I'll still answer you. As long as it's football related, right? Like, don't make a your mama joke, and I'm good. No. But like, honestly, guys, we're going to suffer from mistakes made years ago, and it's all over. We can overcome all these mistakes, but let's be ready for that. And at the end of the day, like, I think Dennis Allen did way better with what he had to work with than I expected. I think the running game was way better than I expected. But at some point, you got to help them out, man. We still haven't drafted a defensive end. We still haven't drafted a running back. So, like I'm all in on the quarterback. I'm all in on the coach. But, like, to me, dude, look at what the Rams are doing. They went further than us and just went out and got Myles Garrett. Like, it's going to take a lot. Unless Caleb's, like, special to the nth degree, it's going to take a lot. And so, like, we're going to feel some of these pains here coming up. And I think that's why I struggle to predict this team going too far. I think those things catch up with us at some point, man.
So in that respect, I agree with you. I think the pain case scenario is all rectifiable in 2027. That's exactly where my brain is, right? Like I need to see, and I think Ryan Poles needs to see the litmus test live in action this year and really get an understanding as to what he's put together, what he's put on the field, both offensively and defensively. My expectation, offense, 45 to 100 billion points a game. Like I think the offense is ready to just destroy it this year. I think the defense is in its infancy, right? And right now it's relying on scheme, Jalen Johnson, an oft-injured Kyler Gordon, and Montez Sweat. Like, that's basically it. And same token, oft-injured Grady Jarrett. Because I think if we get healthy Grady Jarrett, he can be very impactful. But that's about where we are. Mind you, if Javon doesn't turn up this year, he's replaceable in the next draft. You can also find yourself an edge rusher in the next draft. They could go deep defense next year, including in free agency, and completely retrofit that defense into something that Dennis Allen really wants it to be. But at this present time, sorry?
They also can wait until they put the pads on this year.
Well, they have to.
And when that happens, they can make a move then, some trade or something, or they can wait And they can do that and still do something at the trade deadline.
So that idea is not like it's not crazy. There's just not a lot. Like if you don't want a Band-Aid, you know what I mean? Like if you don't want a Band-Aid fix, you're just probably not going to do it. A at trade deadline. B just before the season. I'm just saying, if they delve into it, I hate to say this as well. If we do see them make a move in either of those capacities,
look at what
there's
Samuel
something really severely wrong with the defense.
Please
that they
read
couldn't
what
wait.
Just said. Please read what Samuel just said.
Sure. Let's remember that the Seahawks won the Super Bowl last season with Sam Darnold at quarterback on not a single pass rusher with double-digit sacks. They had 3 guys with 7 sacks, and another had 6. And that's
Samuel. That's why the Packers are going to run it back, because they believe that there's an opportunity and a chance, and there's a possibility. That's not the norm. You want a top 5 quarterback in this league. Like right now, going into next year, is Sam Darnold top 5? No, he's somewhere between 6 and 15. He's in that next tier of tier 2 guys. You can still win.
What he's trying to say is you don't have to have these pillars at edge rusher that make all the fan base happy. That you don't have to have those big names. What you need is team defense, some good studs on the interior, and some decent players on the outside, and you can get it done. And I'm talking about, they don't stop there. Some solid linebackers, a solid nickel corner, and some solid defensive backs that can supplement with that pass rush. It does not have to happen from the edge rusher. You don't have to have a big.
And at the end of the day, I think the quarterback got it done. The quarterback got it done. Like, that's the one piece of all this. No, the defense helped.
Defense got it done.
I don't know, man. That thing was a well-oiled machine. I believe a quarterback has all that influence on a team, and like, I think we're putting a lot on Caleb's shoulders. And I still think we could get it done. I still do. Like, there's a lot going on here with this team, but like, I think we have a special one, guys. And when you have a special one, all this bitching and moaning that I'm doing is actually just, it's going to go by the wayside if the kid's going to go out there and just clean up the first 2 quarters a little bit. Like, guys, we're about to see some special football here for the next 3 to 5 years.
I want
to. Can I tell you something, Paul? I'm going to tell you something. One of the things I've been saying over here on this channel, there's one thing to have your top guys be your number 1 guys, your all 22. All 22, that means your offense, number 1 guys, 11 on the offense, 11 guys on the defense. If you got studs at every position, that's great. But guess what? Your ass ain't going but so far. If 2, 3, and pushing 4 ain't damn near as good, you got to have depth. You know why Seattle won? Because defensively, they can go deep on that roster, especially up front. They can rotate guys in. The second and third wave of pass rushers or defensive tackles, they had dudes to hold it down when the first 11 went to the bench. I keep looking at that shit and I'm just like, damn, they drafted well. Like, holy shit, they drafted well.
Yeah, we have it, man.
We got some players, man. We got some players now.
We
might not have drafted them. We might not have drafted them, but we
man.
got some dudes. We got some depth along that defensive front. I'm just telling you.
We're going to need to do it in a different fashion than they did. Like, I kept hearing, even when Justin Fields was here, I kept hearing these comparisons to the 49ers. Like, it's not normal to have a team that's stacked. There's a reason why they were able to do it with a 7th-round pick quarterback. And mind you, they got rid of their quarterback they spent a top 3 pick on because they're so set up for success that they just have no room for messing around. They'd rather just do it with a guy that can operate, man. Like, I don't know. Like, there's things that need to improve, but I'm telling you, man, I am so high on this coach quarterback combo, so high that, like, I believe all these things can be overcome. Like, these are real issues that our team is facing. Like, we've talked a lot about certain aspects, whether certain different positions. We talked about finances. We talked about the future. We talked about draft capital spent. This and that. There's a lot of mistakes that have been made, and no team out there is perfect. Dude, I love the when people are like, well, I want a higher draft pick. No, I want a lower one, man. I want to pick 32. People got it wrong, man. Like, I want to pick 32. The lower we go, the better we are, guys. We got to figure that out, how to operate that way successfully, though.
Real quick, Paul. Let me say this before. This is just a personal prerogative right here. Before
Yeah, I
we
do
get
have to
ready
go at some point soon here, but yeah.
just be real, I'm gonna be real quick, man. I just wanted to point this out. And I don't know if I mentioned it at the top of the show. We've been talking about so much stuff. I watched this tape again after my girlfriend went back to work on Saturday. Dude, let me tell you something. I think when we start talking about how well the Seahawks drafted, and how they just stacked positions and really layered their team, and that's one of the reasons why they got to the Super Bowl. They had a coaching change too. That was Pete Carroll that drafted a lot of that talent. However, a new coach came in. The Ravens defensive coordinator came in and layered onto that talent. And some of that talent wasn't there when Pete was there. Some of that talent was brought there after he left. What I'm telling you guys is right now is this guy right here, Salvon Ahmed from the Dolphins, we got as a free agent. He was a Dolphin last year, but he turned into a free agent. We got the Dolphins running back coach. And there's a reason why the Dolphins running back coach went to the leadership and said, let's go get this guy. I'm telling you guys right now, after looking at his tape more thoroughly, this guy's got the stuff. He just hasn't had the opportunity. He's been in the league since probably 2019 or something like that for about 5 or 6 years. Just haven't had the opportunity. I think in this situation in Chicago, well, Paul just said it a minute ago. We played with 2 running backs the entire year. But we're going to need that other running back or 2 to help supplement this room. And I'm telling you, we got a good one. Watching this guy's tape, what it reminds me of, the more and more I looked at it at the second time around, it reminded me of Warwick Dunn. That's who he reminds me of.
Reminds you of who?
Warwick Dunn.
Oh, is he that little?
I think his legs are stronger. And
Okay.
Warwick Dunn's a pretty strong little dude.
I didn't catch that. Now I got to look at his tape again now for sure.
Guys.
I haven't watched it. Me and Nomad were chopping it up about this player before we started the show. I've watched him play a fair amount. I didn't get the Warwick Dunn. Like, Warwick Dunn to me is just like a little guy who gets the job done. But if that's what you found from Salvon Ahmed, that's interesting. I do think he's a bit of a sleeper, just as Samuel was saying here. I like this particular player. I like what he brought to Miami as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if he can bring similar game to the Chicago Bears in, again, a the 3-headed back situation with that with the rotation, just like ATF has said. I think he'll add a lot to the team, and I think they really do need not just a third back, but a little bit of depth at running back in general. I think he brings a lot of that, right? As far as Salvon Ahmed is concerned.
I got to get out of here, but I wanted to really hit this one topic, and I keep missing it, but let me just get to it before I need to go. When it comes to financials, right? Like, the top wide receivers in this league, the amount they get paid, I mean, you're talking about $40 million a year for Justin Jefferson, for Jamar Chase, right? Not to say those guys aren't worth it. However, neither of them have a ring. Meanwhile, there's other guys out there that don't get paid as much, that have been drafted a little later or whatnot. I mean, like I said, Devonta Smith, now you got Jackson Smith and Chgo. There's been some recent examples of top 10 wide receivers that have actually gotten the job done. But, I mean, outside the last 3-4 years, like I said, there is a good 25 years where they didn't get it done. So it's a recent flip. But when it comes to tight ends, do you guys know how much the top tight ends get paid in this league?
I don't really care.
Like,
Well, but you should know, man, because if you're gonna pay a guy like Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, you can afford the top two tight ends instead of that guy. So when I look at the Bears at their setup, it like tight ends, the top tight ends in this league make $18 million a year. They don't even crack 20. So you could have literally the top two tight ends, and it still would not cost you what a guy like Justin Jefferson will cost you. And I think that's really interesting because I think the Patriots were onto it with Hernandez and Gronkowski, and whatever happened. Like, obviously that didn't play out due to outside of football reasons. But, like, there's a way to structure an offense and still be very, very productive with the tight end position being the lead that really has not been exploited much, which I think the Bears are starting to do a little bit with Komet. And, like, dude, look, we had two tight ends and we just drafted a third. We can afford all of them. Like, you could honestly pay all of them if they're all good and still be fine. But if you pay a guy like Rome, you won't be. And so, I don't know. I think the financials there are very, very interesting because those two positions, production-wise, can line up a lot. We really, really, really lead on. Thanks for pointing that out, Paul. They might just host. Yeah.
Jojo
Yeah,
Loco, man. That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic.
Everybody's
Good job,
holding
Jojo.
out.
Well, you waited all
No,
show.
for sure. No, but I'm just saying that's an
a-
interesting angle to look at, man, because like I was not all for drafting a tight end. However, it doesn't really cost you to do so. Even if the guy works out, doesn't really handicap you financially as much as some other positions do. So I think
you
that's
was born in
interesting.
a different. You was born in the wrong era.
Dude, I was raised in communism, though, man. Everything's got a price.
You should have been born in like the Gallatin red grain. That was a no. It ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work, man. You can't tight end. Now I will tell you this though, just to buffer your argument a little bit, Paul. I do see, and I tell kids and Trish this all the time, even Samo when he's here. The game goes into cycles. And we have a throwing league for a long time, 10, 15 years. Next thing you know, it cycles back around to that running league. And I can see it going there now. It's going back into a more running league. It's going back into a more defensive emphasis league. I already see it going there. And I think Ben Johnson sees it that way as well, which is why he leaned into more of the power attack, making sure that they're a plethora of tight ends that can either block, slide back there and play some fullback, go out there and run some short routes, more dynamic guy that can go out there and run some longer routes, but can do all those things as well. And so they're preparing for a more power attack. And so what you're talking about ain't wrong. It ain't wrong. It's a throwback conversation.
Well,
but
when push came to shove, though, man, we leaned on Colston Loveland to convert third downs. When push came to shove, like that play in the playoffs, that touchdown to DJ Moore, that could have been anybody. It was wide open. He was schemed wide open. Packers thought that was a screen. The corner, man, he bit so hard. He reached so hard to try and reach DJ Moore in those first 3 yards. You see his arm extending out to DJ Moore was just passing. You step forward, thought it was a screen, and it wasn't. And one guy ran past you. That one guy doesn't have to be a top 10 pick. And like, for me, no, man, I want you to do something because I'm going to get out of here. Look at which quarterbacks in this league right now, starting quarterbacks, have a ring.
Starting quarterbacks?
Because, man, there's only a couple.
You got Matthew Stafford, and you got.
Okay.
Wait, let me see.
You got Sam Darnold, which is an outlier. Matthew Stafford, sure.
It might be one more I'm not thinking about.
Patrick Mahomes,
for sure.
Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson.
Aaron Rodgers, Russell ain't there.
Guys,
I don't think
there's
Russell's
only a
playing
couple of
football.
them. There's only a couple of them. You want to be that guy. You want that guy that's in that bracket.
Where you going with that conversation?
It's all in Caleb, man. Like, everything else is support. This kid needs to ball out even harder. And I think he's totally capable of it, man. And, like, I don't know, man. This team's been messing up how it's been messing up for a long time. That's stayed kind of consistent. We finally got the pieces to overcome the mistakes and
Look, I got
maybe
a
turn
question
this
for
thing
you, Paul.
around and go the right way.
Before you
Finally,
go, Paul, I got a question for you.
for sure.
Who's a better quarterback, Caleb Williams or Sam Darnold?
Well, just like I asked the podcast last night, define better this upcoming year, better career wise, better
Who's
for
the
the
better?
next 3 years.
Who puts it together? Who puts it together the best?
And
And
it's Caleb
executes
Williams
it,
or who else
or Sam Darnold?
next year?
Oh, I'm talking about right now.
Right now, for this next year, if I had a team, who would I want as my quarterback? Sam Darnold just got it done, dude. Like, can't diminish that. Caleb needs to go out there and get it done. That's what needs to happen.
You
with
know
him.
what? You know what
Like-
people thought about Sam Darnold 2 years ago?
Oh, dude, I have a friend of mine who actually, he wound up committing suicide, so he's no longer around.
That's some
But-
peace, bro.
Oh,
The year leading
He's
up
there.
to the draft where Sam Darnold was drafted, he told me he's a Packers fan too, no man, was a Packers fan. He told me if I was the Bears, I would take and draft Sam Darnold. That kid's a real fucking QB. Anybody that goes to the Jets, man, you're dealing with the Jets. He panned out more than like Geno Smith panned out. But at the end of the day, like, I'm going to give that guy his flowers. He's a damn good quarterback right now. There's no reason. Dude, guys, you know what really happened here? The Vikings messed up. They thought that Sam Darnold couldn't come through when it mattered most. That's probably the best roster in this division. They make it so easy for a quarterback. And, like, I heard that Kevin O'Connell is a quarterback whisperer. He could teach any quarterback. And then J.J. McCarthy comes around. All of a sudden, he can't do it with him. What does that say about J.J. McCarthy? Just give up on that kid. Kevin O'Connell's a real head coach. Dude, if they would have had Sam Darnold still, we all would have been screwed. Because that guy's got the job done, man. He's a well-oiled machine. He's very, very productive, and they could produce to a good degree. But I don't think Sam Darnold's coming back from 21-3 at halftime, though, man.
There you go, Scrolls. You can ask him.
That's
Scrolls says,
special, man.
better question.
What QB would I trade Caleb for? Like that's what I mean. Like this Scrolls, this is why this next year is so good. Because that question is going to change. Like, my answer to that question is going to change dramatically. As of right now, I would totally trade Caleb and a first for a guy like Joe Burrow.
What?
Would you not? What? What do you mean, what? Like,
Potato
come on. Joe
chip-
Burrow's a top 5 quarterback in this league.
Potato chip
Period.
Joe Burrow.
You don't think Ben Johnson is, like, dude, I look at Jared Goff.
Wait a
You don't
minute.
think Jared Goff would be scarier on the Vikings?
Wait a minute. You said potato chip ass Joe Burrow.
Yes.
Potato chip. I mean crispy ass.
No, man. The Rams drafted
This motherfucker is a
and
strong
traded
ass-
Goff. They traded Goff for a guy that had no playoff
Bear
football
Steve.
experience in Matt Stafford.
Bearski.
Dude,
A
I
strong
know
ass Breeze will put
what-
him on IR for the year.
I understand that, no, man. We're talking about the next upcoming year and not the next 3 years or 5 years. If we're talking about the next 3 years, give me Caleb. If we're talking about the next year, oh, Joe Burrow could get it done, dude. For sure, Joe Burrow could get it
Wow,
done.
man.
Yo, Jojo Loco's in the chat. He's on some real shit.
Yeah,
man.
okay, off the rails. You guys are
The
acting
ball's
like
gone
Joe
off the
Burrow's
deep.
not a top 5 quarterback in this league. Are you kidding
No,
me?
no. Look, as
Are
much.
you
and
kidding
I
me?
made-
Like, Joe
I made
Burrow's
the
not better than
comparison.
Caleb.
Man's a
Caleb
potato
didn't
chip, man.
even pass 4,000 yards.
Potato chip, man. He's brittle.
Dude, Caleb got sacked 68 times.
But did he miss games?
He's
stood-
2 years
stood
into his
tall in the
career.
pocket, though. He
Now,
stood
Joe
tall in the-
Burrow's a meathead. He will be, the playoffs will be not even an option, and he's still stepping up into a hit and getting a rib broken to make a completion. And I get that. Caleb's a
Yeah,
lot
take it easy.
safer in that way. And so, like, I get that. But if we're talking about 1 year and not
Yeah.
3 years,
Y'all
my
take it easy on
answer
my boy Paul,
100% would be Joe Burrow. For
man.
sure.
Y'all take it easy on Bearski, man. It's our boy.
Dude, I would trade, like I said, that's why this year matters so much. We need to reinforce the confidence we currently have in Caleb, because it was fun, it was nice, Nomad, you said it when we started this thing. When I first came out, it was still a failure. Right?
It was. Yeah.
It was. No, Keds, you're laughing. My goal is a Super Bowl.
I'm laughing
Just because we've done the best we've done as Bears fans.
I'm laughing at JoJo Loco. Hey, it's a free world. Paul can say whatever he wants to say, JoJo.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna.
He's gonna say what
You want to disagree with me? Just be like, that guy's a Pollock.
That's the Nomad
Whatever, I don't
Network
care.
for you. You come over here, you get to speak.
You feel free. You know what I mean? Feel free. At the end of the day, that is you. We are all entitled to.
No, dude. I mean, I think there's quarterbacks in this division right now that are better than Caleb Williams. You don't
And
think
that's-
Jared Goff
and
is better?
that's-
You don't think Jordan Love is better? We did say
Look.
they're better earlier. There's no way you're going to sit here right now and tell me that Joe Burrow is not a better quarterback than Caleb Williams.
He is,
Just-
but I
just-
wouldn't trade
He
him for
is.
him.
Just follow me. So I love Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow is
He's a
amazing.
championship
I made
Yes,
a
so
bit
it's
of a
not
comparison earlier on.
Obscene, like
Would
Chad's
I
making it.
trade Caleb Williams for anything at this present moment?
Especially
You
Joe
couldn't-
Burrow.
You couldn't hold me at gunpoint and
Keds.
trade that particular, like the upside.
Keds.
The upside alone is astronomical.
Keds. I'm gonna leave you with this.
There's
I'm gonna
no
leave you with this
ceilings
because
on
I
this.
gotta go. I'm gonna leave you with this. There was a point in time where me and my co-host, my good friend David, were talking on the phone, and he's like, right now, Justin Fields and a first-round pick for Lamar Jackson. And you know what I said, Keds? But the potential and the upside for Justin Fields is so promising and so good. And he's like, you're fucking crazy. Lamar is a real deal quarterback.
What year was that?
Dude, that was the year. Dude, it doesn't matter. Like the hope.
does.
No,
If it was
the
Justin
hope.
Fields
The
year
hope.
one,
The hope is
yeah,
there every year.
makes
The
sense.
hope is there every year. I know what Joe Burrow is. There is no hope.
Is
That
it
is
Justin
worth a
Fields
ton.
year
And
3,
that is
4?
this year. Caleb proves that. He proves that he's for real, not a flash in the pan. This isn't a one-year thing. He proves that he is in that upper echelon rather than just some spike, dude. Like Justin Fields had all the potential in the world, Keds, until he didn't. Meanwhile, there's guys out there that are falling just short.
But hold on,
Like, dude,
Dursky, there's
I gotta go.
there's
man.
an obvious. I know, and I'll let you get out of here in a second. I'm just saying there's an obvious difference between the two players. The
100%.
entire time with Justin, we were questioning it.
But that's why I
Can he
said
get it done with his arm and not with his?
Are you
feet?
questioning Joe Burrow? Do you have any doubt that Joe Burrow
I'm
is
not.
able to
No.
get it
I'm
done?
talking about. Hold on. I'm talking about Caleb Williams now. I'm not questioning Caleb Williams' arm. I'm questioning Caleb Williams in a very simple capacity. Has the game slowed down for you? Are you able to get your feet settled? I think that just takes repetition. I think over the course of this summer, he should have that ingrained and should be good, especially with the actual offense underneath him as well. But those three things, I'm fully 100%ly like in the kid's corner.
Keds.
I wouldn't trade him for you. You
Keds.
couldn't pay me enough money. to trade him.
Keds. It was crazy when the Rams traded Jared Goff for Matt Stafford. It was nuts. But you knew what Matt Stafford was. And you knew that Jared Goff's going to fall short for you. Like I said, this is the year for Caleb to prove a ton. Dude, are you kidding me? I know Joe Burrow's not going to be the reason I can't get it done, dude. That's worth a ton in this league. And people
Burrow
pay
might
for
be
potential.
the
People
reason.
pay for potential. Caleb could fail.
Dude,
There is that
Burrow might be
still
the
in
reason
front
he
of
don't
him.
get it done.
Dude, I like and I love the comment that JoJo said. Thank you for the most classic performance. Please bookmark this. JoJo, you have no idea how many times we've heard that on my channel, on my show, when we made these crazy predictions. One of them is Rome wasn't worth the pick. He's not going to pan out. And 2 years later, after hearing, oh, he's going to be fine and this and blah, 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 he's just hurt, blah, blah, he's not going to pan out. We said it 2 years ago, and we were crazy then, and now we're a little less crazy. And in another year or two, we're just going to be right. So, like the fact of the matter is, the job is not done. Caleb's got the potential. I believe in him. I totally believe in him. I definitely think he's going to get it done. But if you're comparing, no, there is a handful of quarterbacks in this league that are top 5, and Joe Burrow's there. If we're talking about 1 year and you want to win now, Joe Burrow's a guy you can win with. Caleb's a guy that you don't know if you can win with or not.
Like what's kind of funny about this conversation is like Joe Burrow's kind of technically closer to Jared Goff in history than he is to Matt Stafford in your comparison.
Yeah, I don't want him for
right.
2-3
Like
years,
he'd been to the Super Bowl once. Check. Jared went to the Super Bowl once. He's kind of been injured and hasn't quite been the guy that he could be over the last few years. Like he's putting
Joe Burrow's Dan Marino right now.
Well, like, and Dan didn't win a Super Bowl either, right? So, like, it's great to have Dan.
Like, I don't want Jalen Hurts just because he won a Super Bowl. Like, if we're talking about a better quarterback, we're talking about a better quarterback. Joe Burrow's a better quarterback than Caleb. Period.
Joe Burrow can break his goddamn arm getting a 30-pack.
I know, Keds. He's such a meathead. I'm sorry, no man. I know, no man. He's such a meathead. I hate that about him. I love the fact that Caleb runs out of bounds instead of taking a hit. I love the fact that Caleb avoids all the pointless torture that your body goes through. Joe Burrow steps up to it in pointless situations. I hate that about him. It's a very Jay Cutler type of mentality. I hated Jay Cutler dropping his shoulder on a safety in week 2 or running down a damn pick 6 against the Chargers and hurting his thumb. We were 7-3 and went 9-7 that year because our quarterback got hurt. Like, Caleb doesn't have that. There's a lot I love about Caleb. It's still unknown. It's still potential. It's still hope. I will give a lot up for a known commodity in this league rather than to keep hoping like I've been hoping my whole life, guys. All right. I appreciate both of you.
Let's call it a night, no, man. We know
the real type of football conversation I can have with you guys is just like the real kind of conversation I can have with some of my best friends. I appreciate both of you for it.
You come on back, Paul. Come on back, man.
Oh, it might not be tomorrow, but you know I'll be back.
For sure. You're always welcome, man.
I love you guys.
Your opinion is always welcome. It's not necessarily going to be
no, I prefer.
You know what I mean? Like it's not necessarily.
Dude, I prefer the debate. I prefer the debate because I debated with my buddy David about why he was crazy about not wanting to keep Justin Fields, and a year later, when Justin Fields was traded for a 6th-round pick, and Lamar Jackson was still Lamar Jackson, he looked at me. He's like, "Hey, how about that Justin Fields trade conversation?" And I was like, "Dude, go ahead, give it to me. I deserve to take it because I was an idiot." And he made sure to remind me of that, and it's taught me some lessons along the way. Dude, Joe Burrow is legit. Caleb is out of the way there. Like this year's is going to be huge for us guys.
He's legit, Paul, but he's still a ruffle.
Yeah, but it's good. But this year's the year. But this year's the year where that answer changes for me at the end of the year. For sure.
That's why this season is going to be the best Bears season of them all. And in my opinion, it doesn't the end all be all isn't the Super Bowl. If it is the Super Bowl, awesome. But what I need to get out of this season is all the answers. And I think all the answers to whether Caleb's the guy, to whether Jervon's, should be re-signed, to whether Tyreek should be re-up. All of these questions that we brought up here today will be answered in the 2026 season. Is Dio Dangbo motivated enough to do some shit? Is Grady healthy enough to do some shit? All of the questions will be answered in 2026.
There's a scenario where they go 10-7 and make the playoffs, and I'm pissed. And there's a scenario where they go 10-7 and miss the playoffs, and I'm excited for the future. All right, brother. I'm gonna leave you with that. Have a good night.
That's an interesting take. There's also potential for them to go higher than that.
He's got a baby, man.
Oh man,
guys, no, she's no man. She's almost 4 years old now. She mouthed off to me earlier today. Not a baby anymore. This kid.
It has been a while,
she's
man.
Telling me what to do. Tell me, Dad, you gotta not dress this way. Stop embarrassing me.
By the way, that just gets worse. By the way, and I'm real glad that I'm done with all of that. So
I'm loving every second of it, Cats.
That's graduation. That's graduation, bro.
I know. I'd rather go through those pains with her than to have her go.
She said, "Straighten up, Dad. Get your shit right now."
Yeah, no, she's right. I'm not saying she's wrong. It's like, come on, you're gonna be the next person to point that out.
Thanks.
I'm a Pollock. I'm wearing socks and sandals here. So, all right, guys, have a good night.
Hey man, take care,
Brother.
Paul. Holla at you, dog.
Take it easy. Bye, guys.
Take it easy, Bearsky, man.
Appreciate you.
That was fun, man.
That was fun, man. Like we were totally gonna do things in a specific manner. I'm kind of went completely off the rails. But big ups to Paulie, man. Super love having him on, sharing his thoughts, his opinions on all things Bears. And you know, these Paul's opinions are not necessarily reflected by the Nomad Network or by Kansas Canuck. Just wanted to give y'all that disclaimer before we end the show.
Hey, well, I appreciate Paul, man, because that was perfect timing.
Yeah, man. He came in. He kind of held us down.
Man, well, he just decided he wanted to come through, and when Trips is having, you know,
technical difficulties. Absolutely, it worked out. It worked out very well. Gave us a very different spin on the conversation. I meant to mention to Paul at some point during the conversation that Nomad hates the financial conversation altogether. When I do it, so he's probably just.
Kid, you got it wrong, but I don't hate it. I'm just so football centric.
I know that you are. That's why I'm teasing you. That's why I'm teasing you, man. But either way, man, it was a really, really interesting chat tonight, y'all. I hope you guys got what you needed to get out of it. We really went around the block on a lot of these general items with respect to the Chicago Bears. All of these questions are valid. Answers aren't necessarily what they will be, but one thing is for sure, and I said it just a minute ago, for damn sure, we're going to get our answers in 2026, and I expect the answers to be awesome.
Yep. Hey, man, listen, it was fun. I do appreciate Paul and Bearsky Films. That's his channel. Y'all go check him out. Whether you agree with him or disagree with him, there's a lot of disagreement in here, but that's okay. Because that's what podcasts are all about. It's about opinions and about thoughts about Bears fans and what they think about this team and what they should have done, what they didn't do, what they could have done. All of that is part of the ball of wax that we're dealing with the Chicago Bears team. And, you know, some of it was let's just say 80% of that was unscripted. And we didn't know Paul was going to go to some of the
let's go to 100% because I don't write scripts.
Some of the stuff I can predict with him. But about 85% of that was I couldn't see that coming, but that's where it went.
That Joe Burrow talk at the end, I had no clue.
That's wild. That's wild. That's wild, right?
Oh man, yo, big ups to the chat, man. Shout out to JoJo Loco. You were a superstar tonight, man. You really you kept me laughing. Big ups to Scrolls, AC Adam. Chris Foster was in there with some real shit for sure. Shadow Sports, Levante, man, you had some real shit out there too. Big ups to Samo and the Scrolls for sure. No love to Jason Williams, Green Bay, man. No love to Don Burt either, man. Big ups to Marcus Jones. There was big ups to ATF and FFG and the Crooked Commissioner. There was a Giants fan and a Raiders fan with us tonight, just giving us a bunch of love. Big ups to your organizations and thanks for joining us as well. Mad respect in that respect. But all that being said, man, let's get the hell out of here so I can watch some House of the Dragon before it's Betty by Bo's time.
I've been saving it, kids, and I'm a don't you say shit.
I ain't saying nothing.
I'm saving it and I'm avoiding everything on social media that might give me a hint. And so I'm waiting.
It's gonna be good tonight, I tell you that much. I'm sure tonight's gonna be a big one because we're getting close to the end of the season.
That's already too much. All right. So look, man, Paul came through here and I appreciate him. I appreciate y'all in the chat because y'all lit that shit up.
Wait. What? Big ups to Triple R, man. Shout outs to you, Trip. We'll catch you on Wednesday with some extra sauce. All right, brother?
I know that irritates Trip because he does not like missing shows, man, because he's got, you know how Trips is, man.
I do.
Trips does not like missing these shows, man. So I definitely I empathize with whatever that was going on. He'll get it right, and we'll get it right on Wednesday night show because I'll tell you why. That because Paul was here and he took the conversation to a different place and we had to talk about certain things, there's a multitude of things that we didn't get to talk about that will be on Wednesday night's extra sauce show. So that show will be chock.
Oh, you're gonna bring the Von Miller over to Trip on Wednesday?
that and some other shit that we didn't talk about that we had loaded up in here too. But don't look at it. Don't look at it. Don't even bother.
I'm just saying, Trip gonna be all over the Father Time aspect of that one, but I'm actually for it. So I can't wait to have that conversation.
I'm already ganged up for that conversation.
Okay, perfect.
But yeah, man, this was fun, man. Y'all tore the shit up in the chat, man. The chat was lit tonight, and thanks to Paul and Bearski Films, man. He came in here and did a number on y'all. Don came in here.
Oh.
Don't say nothing, man.
I'm not saying nothing, man. Let's
we ain't gonna clown him because he ain't here. No, we ain't doing that.
No.
But hey, man, good show, you guys. Again, Wednesday, extra sauce, 8 p.m. Central. Be there or be fucking square. Just gonna tell y'all right now.
Oh, one last shout out before we get out of here. D Nice, man. Big ups to you, man. Good to see you in the chat.
Ammo up in this motherfucker, man.
Oh, and BT9 is the last one out there. He was in the chat large tonight too, man. Good chats out there, man. Thanks for all the participation tonight. Really appreciate that.
Thanks for the super chats, Dante. Who was it? Smitty. Thank y'all, man. We need some of that action going on. Levante jumped up a little bit late, but man, dog, go back and rewind that. That was it was an interesting show from the beginning. Levante, you might.
Levante been here, man. Levante read up tonight, man.
Towards the end, he re-upped, and shout out to him for doing that. He came in towards the end. I don't know how much he's been watching, but if you didn't, go back to the beginning of that show. It was a hell of a conversation, bro. It was. But yeah, I gotta go too, man, because yeah, I got some sweet thing going on in the background. Let's just say that. We need to do some things right about
you know you're my everything.
Yeah, some of that going on, but we love you guys, man. Make sure you're here Wednesday night. Be there, be square. Love y'all. Come Monday, we got some pads on, and Wednesday night. By the time we get to Wednesday, we're gonna have a whole bunch more conversation to have. But I just love y'all, and I want to leave y'all with this: love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.